having as many interactions with Burt Weiss, who we used to share a building with. But his show in the afternoon used to be my old sports show. Yeah. So he'd call in or randomly text. And so, I've always thought just people that have reached that iconic status, it's definitely well-deserved.
No question. And then, of course, Scott
I've heard nothing but Scott is good to work with. I've just never got a chance
I've never known him, never even met the man. I know a bunch of the people that work with him.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people on that crew.
Exactly. Well, our own, as a matter of fact,
Adam Gillespie.
Adam Gillespie's on that crew with them running Georgia football and basketball and that sort of stuff. So that was a big, cool weekend.
And can I tell you, you've made it, everyone. Now, we always talk about if you make Christmas. Like in this room, everyone here is hoping just to make Christmas because not everybody makes Christmas.
That's right.
All right. So when you make Christmas, it's a pretty big deal.
That's right.
You've made week 1 of the college football season.
Let's go. Let's go.
It is here.
And I'm telling you, I'm an oddball like this, but I turned the sound of the commentators off and turned the music on. So I was dude, I listened to 4 hours of just crazy good music and watched that for that game.
Kansas State and Iowa State.
Yes, and the first half was they were back and forth, but not a lot of movement. You know what I mean? It was just they both had scored 7. It was 7-7 up until half, and then the second half was a little bit better game. But I was just glad. I have a rooting interest. I just love college football, and it was fun to watch.
I was a bad college football fan over the weekend.
Oh, no.
Because we had a volleyball tournament over at North, and my wife had to get the concession stand. She was working 7 to 10.
Yeah.
And so I got out there 7:15, 7:30. There's a handful of our friends that were all had their kids there, and so I just went to go hang out. By the time we then had lunch and that second half started, I put it on the TV in the bedroom and fell asleep till it was over. I woke up for Tarleton State. I watched Division II football.
I never even heard of Tarleton State.
Stephenville, Texas. That is a hotbed for there's a couple areas where the modern passing game came out of. Valdosta State is the epicenter of the modern passing game in college football. If you ever want to read about a great book, Perfect Pass, and it goes through all of what happened there. Where Tarleton State and Stephenville, that's where the other end of it was occurring. And so when you saw them on TV, I was like, I'm going to watch them for a little while because it kind of looks like college football.
Yeah.
So
that's all that matters.
But we get games starting as of Thursday into Friday with the holiday weekend.
Gosh.
So Georgia Tech in Boulder to play Colorado here.
They're going to wear Colorado out in Boulder. They are going to wear them out.
They're going to be a favorite. I think it was 3.5 the last time I saw it.
Dude, I bet they win.
Y'all are into line season, everybody.
Yeah, I know, right?
Getting this from me.
Yeah, I bet.
Prize Picks is back,
dude. I bet they win by 2 touchdowns. I'm telling you, man. Georgia Tech's will win. And Haynes King, as a matter of fact, he was in our neighborhood, around our neighborhood. He was at Avalon.
Was he selling roofs?
Insurance. Y'all have life insurance? You got coverage? No, he was over at Onward Reserve, the little store that a friend of mine, his wife runs. And they had 300 people show up there. It was the biggest autograph signing because Onward does these T-shirts with each player on the back, and they did hobnail boot with oh goodness, his name's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. For Georgia, they've done a bunch of the Georgia players, and this was I think the first Tech player, and they did an autograph signing to launch his T-shirt, and 300 Tech fans showed up.
To think, just years ago, if you were to ever sign autographs, you would see a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, I know.
And now we're like, no, we got a signing. We're good.
Yeah.
So good for Haynes, man. Good for Haynes King. That's a fun player to watch. I really hope that because he spent a portion of last year where he had the shoulder injury, and that really kind of took a little bit of his game away from him. When you saw them in the double overtime loss to Georgia, that was more of what Haynes King typically looks like and how he played at A&M in his first year at Georgia Tech before last year.
Yeah, he was. He's a ball player. He's a hard nose. He's the toughest kid I think I've seen in college football in a really long time. And I'm not a Tech fan, but I have
he'll give you the shoulder.
I have immense respect for, first of all, Brent Key, their head coach.
Yeah.
And you can see the change that he's made in that program. They're a football program. They're being a hard-nosed football program. But Haynes King, too, is just that kid is a road warrior.
And if you don't like the TV announcers, you can hear the Georgia Tech games here on Xtra 106.3.
That's exactly right. Just really cool that all those people showed up. there for him. And hobnail boot was David Green to Veron Haynes.
Yes, Veron Haynes.
Why I couldn't remember Veron Haynes' name. My son and his son played ball together for
just crushed their face.
Like 5 years. Yeah, crushed their face. Step on their face with a hobnail.
Stepped on their face with a hobnail boot and broke their nose. We just crushed their face.
Yeah. It's funny. It's a little bit connected in the fact that Scott Howard was put into the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame. And they talked about how it's so hard to be the guy that follows the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And Scott Howard does that. He's
and he's been there for now 2 championships, which kind of cements your status as somebody who is running play-by-play. I think if there was something at the end between that transition, it had been such a drop-off from the level that I think people were ready for, okay, what's going to be the next thing. And and that's fine. But again, it is cool that after you've been, realize like how long he's actually now been calling games.
Yeah, it's been a while. That sure has. But anyway, a good start to the weekend. Or a good start to the week after a great weekend, and I
love Raid Weekend.
Yeah.
Raid Weekend was great. If you were here for Friday, starting at about 7:25,
that's right.
You knew what the rest of the weekend was going to be.
Absolutely, man. And you saw the Democrats just absolutely melting down, which was kind of funny. And
they were curious. Wait a minute, you're planning to use this power too?
What?
You've
never done this before?
You never thought that when you were, raiding a man's home and going through his wife's underwear drawer that maybe, just maybe, he might end up in power again, and suddenly you would be accountable for your crimes.
Dude, they never, ever, ever thought he would be back in power. And to be honest, I'm not sure many people did.
Wasn't until after they started the lawfare.
And you know what happened?
The numbers say so.
This just kind of opens. I just saw where Mike Collins had posted this. Today in 2023 was the day he was marched in to the courthouse down and
2-year mark,
and took that mugshot that changed everything. The thing that nobody expected, the thing that nobody saw coming. They took that mugshot, and then the wheels came off the bus.
It is the greatest political backfire, in my opinion, in the history of this country.
That's exactly right.
You actually published a mugshot of a former president on what was a pretty sham charge. You marched in, you criminal conspiracy, and here's the other 21 people, which even, friend of show, Sean Still, who is a state representative here, he flat out was like, I've never even met anyone on this team. Like, I don't know, I've never talked to anyone.
And yet
trying
to give him
conspiracy.
A case. Yeah,
trying to make sure he catches a case out of this. To this day, the greatest political backfire in the history of this country. You had, at the time, Ron DeSantis actually leading the polls when it came to the Republican primary. It was the lawfare that kicked everything off.
Dude, and it changed the course of American history. That one picture changed the course of the way we're living in America right now, with a new focus on law and order, a new focus obviously on the border, a new focus on the economy, a new focus on giving America at least a chance to be the republic that we want it to be, and not this banana republic that it was becoming under the Democrat rule of the kind of the board of directors, because Joe Biden was the figurehead, but everybody knows he wasn't capable of doing everything. But that was their plan.
Well, if it was so legitimate what Donald Trump had done, now keep in mind, the man had never been under any sort of felony charge until he was 78 years old.
Yeah,
but he was such a criminal mastermind that he waited until he was near 80. Yeah. Okay, you can explain that one to me. Yeah. And then the other one, well, he filed bankruptcy. Why don't you take a look at the amount of companies that will do this? It's called a restructuring. Yeah. Okay,
or Ted Turner. How many times did Ted Turner file?
Same thing. It is a move in order to consolidate and to change some of your contracts. Is how it works. So, by the time that they're on to all the lawfare, and now that he's back in office and, again, the greatest political backfire in this country's history, now they're surprised that he is, I wouldn't say directing, he's influencing every single part of this government to say, if you see wrongdoing, go deal with it.
And that's what I voted for.
Yep.
I want to see that.
I love it.
Me too. Me too. When you see Brandon Johnson in Chicago saying, "You better not come here," and you have the crazy woman that's been hijacked or carjacked 2 or 3 times saying, "I got my arm broken at carjacking, but I still don't want you here with Donald Trump." You know, it's those kind of people that are just absolutely insane because the rest of America is like, clean it up.
Here's how badly they're losing on this front. First off, did you see that they spent all weekend going, Donald Trump hasn't played golf in 2 weeks. He's dying.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, I did. And you won't believe when we were at that Toad the Wet Sprocket concert, between sets, row behind me, couple of, you could tell they're crazies. And that's all they talked about. I couldn't help but notice because they were just talking in earshot. You know how close those rows are? They were talking about him dying.
They're getting beaten so badly that now their only hope is, hope he's dying.
Fingers crossed.
And then what happened? He played golf on Sunday. Yeah. So then it turned into, all right, let's pump up Gavin. Like, okay, that's not working either. Then it almost turned into the raid on Bolton's home in order to find what they were going to try and find, which sounds like they were selling state secrets. That's what the word is they're looking into.
And it should be it's alleged that it's Qatar's where he's doing this.
Yes, that's where he's been drawing money from and illegally storing this information to be sold. And that's what the inside information when it comes to the FBI, that's what he was doing. That's treasonous. We'll get around to that. But to think that ended up going on the back burner because once the left found out within about 24 hours that not only were we not apologizing for it, we were all celebrating it. Yeah. And then they're going, oh, it sounds like he did something really problematic. Okay, let's leave this one alone and let's talk about how Donald Trump hasn't played golf and he must be dying.
And how great Gavin Newsom is. Yeah, those two things.
That's what it turned into.
I know. But if you don't have anything else, you're always looking for something.
There is nothing else. They have nothing else.
That's right.
Right now, the other fun part is as you see now Florida saying, hey, we're going to redistrict too. All of these red states are going on the offensive. And by the time that we get that census, that new census that is coming, this midterm's done. Like, we got it. Yeah, like, it's going to be over with.
Yep.
You start looking at just some of the numbers, we will end up more than likely, if there's a new census, which I believe there will be, you're going to have a 30 or 40 seat advantage.
And Wall Street Journal says they did that. They worked the numbers. I read it over the weekend on X that they worked the numbers. And yes, if every state does it the way when it comes out the wash, it's the Republicans. And that is decades and decades of Republican rule in the House of Representatives. The Democrats won't be able to win it at all. They just won't have a chance.
And all they had to do was give him $5 billion for a border wall and stay out of his wife's panty drawer.
Couldn't do that.
Couldn't do it. The communists cannot help themselves. And they never thought, at no point, not one person on the Democrat side ever thought to themselves as this was going on, maybe we've gone too far.
No, they were pouring fuel on the fire, man.
They actually built it into, he's not supposed to have those documents. Tell me legally how that works.
Yes, because he's the president and can have access to anything and declassify anything at his word.
That's it. That's all.
and yet.
Meanwhile, you're telling me Joe has the same problem, but he's too old to stand trial. But you can let him continue to be the president of the United States. Okay, we went through Bizarro World. Now the world is healing. You're winning, people. All weekend long. Think about it. All they could do was, I hope he's dying.
Yeah, that's right.
He ain't playing golf.
That's the best they had. You woke up this morning winning. You will continue to win because there's no stopping Donald Trump at this point.
What's going to be your win today that'll make your crazy Aunt Peg go nuts?
Well, I think it is the anniversary of the mugshot. That's the win right there.
2-year anniversary.
Just the fact that you woke up and you know now that it was 2 years ago that they set the trap on themselves. They're like Elmer Fudd style.
They couldn't help themselves.
No, they're like, they couldn't wait. They were rushing it to the presser.
That shotgun just curled right back in their own face.
I'm telling you, it's amazing. That's the win today. When we continue on Extra 106.3, 6 o'clock hour brought to you by Subaru of Gwinnett. The left has created the most conservative generation in 100 years. That's a win. Next on Extra.
Get The latest breaking news and insight from the biggest conservative voices in the South. When you follow Extra 1063 across all your social media platforms, find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and YouTube at Extra 1063.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about HonestCarGuy.com. Now, maybe this morning you got up and you went, man, this car is on its last legs. Well, Tom, the Honest Car Guy, is looking to help you out with that. What do? Go to HonestCarGuy.com or give Tom a call, 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1. How does it work? You just let Tom know make and model. That's it. That's how it starts. At that point, he goes to work for you. Now, Tom has run multitudes of dealerships in the state of Georgia for the better part of his entire career. He knows this entire game. He's going to find that vehicle you're looking for. Could be in your own backyard, could be somewhere around the country. He brags about it. It's a humble brag. He's like, man, I can put it in your driveway within 72 hours no matter where it is. I'm like, that sounds completely awesome. And what's going to happen for you? You're going to bypass all the crazy dealership fees. You will know exactly what the price of the car is because you will have the bill of sale once the transaction takes place. Then what do you owe Tom? The Honest Car Guy fee. That's it. That's how it works. That's his, hey, Tom, thanks for taking care of that for me. Here's the Honest Car Guy fee. That's how it ends up working. And you will see, start doing the math on this stuff, and you'll see how it all lays out. You're going to save yourself a couple years worth of dollars on a vehicle doing it this way than going through the traditional dealership. All right, what do you do from here? Go to HonestCarGuy.com, HonestCarGuy.com, or give Tom a call, 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1.
Join Daniel Madelon, CEO of A Second Chance Bail Bonds, and co-host Tug Cowart as they bring together law enforcement, justice insiders, and voices from every part of the justice system, victims, advocates, and people who've turned their lives around. It's an honest talk about what's working, what's broken, and how to build a better path forward, one second chance at a time. This week's guests are FBI Special Agent in Charge Paul Brown and FBI Special Agent Charles Orgbon Jr. Justice Unfiltered. Unfiltered, informed, and unbiased.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Got a to-do list a mile long? No problem. We've got the ultimate solution, our Handyman for a Day program. Here's how it works. You get a skilled handyman dedicated to knocking out your honey-do list. Paint touch-ups, drywall repairs, door adjustments, and much more, all done in one day. Call us now before the rush for your Handyman for a Day and call us at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. One call, one handyman, one day, the Trusted Toolbox.
The right partner makes all the difference. For more than 185 years, we've forged personal relationships with our customers and communities, funding economic development and rallying around the causes that are important to our neighbors. With the technology, products, and expertise you'd expect from a big bank and the local decision-making and commitment to community from your neighborhood bank, United Bankshares is your trusted financial partner for life. Learn more at bankwithunited.com. United Bankshares, member FDIC.
I'm Ashley Dvorkin with a Fox Celebrity Profile with Bob Odenkirk, who returns as secret assassin Hutch Mansell for Nobody 2. The action comedy sequel has Hutch trying to take a break with his family, but his work follows him even on vacation. These action-packed films have given Odenkirk new stunt skills, including when it comes to designing the fights.
I understand the language of it. I understand the basic moves. I understand how things look on screen, and so I can help choreograph the fights. Yeah, I'm going to do more action if they let me. It's fun. It is akin to writing comedy sketches. It really is, because they're short pieces. Most fights tend to be between a minute and 4 minutes long, and they have a turn inside them like a comedy sketch does, and they kind of have a little journey. I very much liked writing them, coming up with them, but also the shooting of them is a riot.
Yeah, and you're working with 87 North.
Yeah, the best.
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 25th. Troops from the Georgia National Guard could soon be deployed as part of a nationwide effort to support federal immigration enforcement. Up to 1,700 troops from multiple states may be called in to assist ICE. It's not clear yet how many Georgia troops would be involved or where they might be sent. Governor Kemp said he's actively communicating with the Trump administration on how to best support immigration work. A 16-year-old is facing multiple felonies after police say he called in a fake active shooter alert. The Newton County Sheriff's Office said the fake call was made to Alcovey High School on Friday. No weapons were found at the school. And a new manufacturing plant is opening in Georgia. Toto, the Japanese company best known for high-tech bathroom fixtures, opened its new factory in Morrow on Friday. The $224 million facility covers over 340,000 square feet. Production is expected to begin this fall. Today's weather, mostly sunny and dry today, no rain in sight with highs in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
The Democrats have really done a number on themselves. Those is interesting that so many people, especially young people, are flocking to the Republican Party. We've seen it in sorority videos. We've seen it in people waving the American flag. Patriotism is back. And people are, and I know they say the Republican Party, but it's really more toward Donald Trump, if you ask me.
I believe a lot of this is similar to what you had brought up before. These are people that have gravitated back towards a traditional sense of America, in that masculinity is fine, and if you're into church, you're into church, and that's good. In fact, if you have the basis of church in your life, it's probably an excellent thing. If you have religion in your life, it's probably an excellent point to be. Because I think a lot of what's going on is that a lot of these young people were searching for what was going to matter most in their lives, and they found out that, hey, if I just try and do a couple of these things right, typically most things work out pretty well. And so I was looking at some of these numbers, and one of the things it points out was how at the heart of the Democrat collapse, and it points out young white men are registering as Republicans in unprecedented numbers. And it says how this would be the most pro-GOP group since the Great Depression. I want to point out that you can't keep them unless you make sure that you're delivering for them. Because Gen Z does not have a strong political affiliation. They will move back and forth without a problem. Depending
they
on
gravitate toward people.
Yeah.
And you even see this a little bit in sports where they don't even have, like my son and his buds, I don't even know that Jacob's a Falcons fan, but he keeps up with players more than he keeps up with teams. And I don't know that those are aligned, but it seems like it is.
For instance, and I'll use European soccer as an example. People have an affinity for a certain club. The club they grew up with, here's their soccer club. But on the big stage, it's about a brand as far as who's the player you follow. And it doesn't matter what club they go to, who they play, that's your guy. And so, like, for instance, the closest thing we have to that these days is LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James has been with Miami, he's been with Cleveland twice, he's now with the Lakers. So I was like, but you follow because I'm a fan of LeBron. Yeah. I'm a fan of LeBron. That's just what it is. That's a lot how Gen Z operates. Now, here's the secret part that they're not saying in this study and that they won't say out loud. It's not just white Gen Z.
No, of course not.
They've buried themselves across the board with all of Gen Z, with the exception of that 18 to 29-year-old woman who still, now again, once she gets married, comes back our way.
You start seeing the change just because traditional values pop up. Because, it really is. Get married, stay married, have kids, be successful. In America, that's the recipe. It's not a really tough recipe. But, of course, they just want to say white people, right? That's what they want to say because that's easy to dismiss.
They can sleep at night.
Yeah,
those evil white people, but those whites.
That New York Times article told you that can't be the case because they were talking about how the Democrats are losing registered voters by, it's like...
in 30 states.
Without a doubt. 30 states. The Republicans are gaining in registration and the Democrats are falling apart. And the whole point of the argument that boils down to me, and I was surprised that they pointed it out, is we can't just go register minorities expecting them to vote Democrat anymore. Those days are over, and that's exactly what that poll is showing, or that graph is showing.
Could it be really something so simple as we cut off their money and now they're not a viable party?
Yeah.
Because USAID basically took our tax dollars, to campaign against us.
Yeah, that's right. And to brainwash us almost with social media ads and nonstop mainstream media discussions about how the Democrats are great and the Republicans are terrible. It was always that.
And so now, if they don't have that money, we're suddenly now they're not even trying to go and register young voters because they keep going, oh my God, they keep voting against us.
We paid for that guy to vote and he's voting against us? What?
It's like, wait a minute. He's not supposed to do that. He's a man of color. No, he voted for Donald Trump or J.D. Vance.
Imagine thinking somebody could be an independent thinker no matter what their race is.
Oh, how weird.
It's so odd to think that.
How strange.
But that's the way they think.
But that's
if you fit in the box,
it's a mechanical,
you have to vote for them.
If here's the box, you're in the box, you're supposed to do this. That's why the more people that leave that box, the more they got to replace it with these illegals. That's always been how that works. So I was just glad to see this article, and that's when I knew they were in trouble when they put it on, hey, it's white Zoomers. It's like, no, it's more than that.
Just that.
You don't lose these sort of percentages, and it's just white Zoomers.
Is it that too? Is it white Zoomers
absolutely.
too? Yes,
100%.
absolutely. But it is not. You see so many people. And you could even just look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. When you look at the amount of people that are saying, yes, we're glad that Donald Trump has cleaned up the city. It's not white people that they're talking to. It's not white people that are making these statements.
And who are the most happy with this?
That's exactly right. The only people that are mad are the white libs out there protesting it. They've convinced themselves that anything that Donald Trump does is bad, so we're going to get out there and protest. And the people that actually live in Washington, D.C. are going, no, y'all are fools. This is great. This is exactly what we've hoped would happen. Somebody would come in and make a difference in our life. And that's all people ask for. Make a difference in my community. And Donald Trump has done that.
I know that you had the liberals out there who had they had a problem with me when I was referring to Donald Trump as Daddy Trump. I was like, your daddy's in, and look what he's taking care of. They'd be like, he's not my daddy. Well, looks like he's your daddy.
He certainly lives rent-free in your head.
And now we are talking about 7 days without a homicide because Daddy came home. And Daddy's like, we're going to patrol the streets. We're going to eat some of these burgers.
No!
And this is what we're going to do. And the only people that seem to have a problem with it are white liberals who don't live in D.C., at least by the statistical data, the GPS tracking data.
And it's interesting because I've been saying this for as long as this show has existed, because I saw it in my son and his friend group. They've become more conservative, and I had no evidence to back it up like you're pointing out. I just knew what was happening in my own, in my own family, in my own life. And young men at this point seem completely out of reach for the Democrat Party, and the young ladies are moving in the same direction. I mean, when you look at those sorority videos, they are fearless. They do not care. It's almost like cancel culture doesn't exist anymore.
They don't want any part of it. They don't want any part of it. We're seeing it reflected in our comedy. We're seeing it reflected in how the young people are acting. This is the first mass rejection. It used to be PC culture. Then it turned into woke ideology. And you now see what happened. The youth don't care for it. And I know it's just, and we'll get into a little bit of Cracker Barrel here. It's never about a logo.
No,
it's about when you start talking.
That's exactly right.
And young people don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want to at the very least, what the Democrats represent are people that live with a ton of rules. Young people don't want rules.
I mean, if you've raised one, you know.
You raise one.
You know.
Here's a bunch of rules.
Yeah.
Doesn't work out well for you.
Yeah, it's always a problem.
You know what young people like? Freedom, or at least the illusion of choice at times. I remember I would give my daughter 3 choices. One of them was never really a choice. I'd be like, all right, here, you can wear either pair of these shoes to school, or you can wear no shoes.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I'll pick one of these two.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she made the choice.
That's right.
It was an illusion. You're gonna put on one of these two. There's never gonna be no shoes.
Yeah.
But that's young people want choice. That's how it works.
But everybody does, really.
Yeah.
It just has filtered down to the point where kids are like, hey, why are all these rules in place, all these arbitrary rules that mean nothing?
Right.
You can't say this, you can't do that. because somebody will then report you. You'll blow up on social media, and your life will be ruined. They tried to do it with the kid that was at the pro-life rally. Remember the kid that the Native American was beating the drum in front of his face?
Yeah.
The Sandman kid, right? There were arbitrary rules right there, and they used that against him. And I think kids saw that. They're like, that could be me. That could be me.
If you consider, if you had a daughter, Tug, and she came home and said, so today I'm in the locker room and there was another person who showed up and they had a dong. You would say, well, hold on a second, I have a problem with this.
Of course.
Well, under woke ideology,
you're not allowed to.
You're not allowed to have these problems. That you have the rules that you have to play by say you can't say anything. Well, that's what these young people are rejecting. They're like, I don't want all these rules. I don't have to jump through all your hoops.
And I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to go change clothes and not have some weirdo standing in there watching me.
I don't want to have all of these crazy things that you tell me if I happen to write something the wrong way. Whoa. If I happen to make a joke on social media and somebody goes, oh, that's too far. Oh.
Cancel culture is dead, and Donald Trump killed it. When you talk about Cracker Barrel, people keep mistaking the failure of Cracker Barrel and the drop of 14% yesterday, which was about $100 million.
Oops.
That they lost. Yeah. That they lost yesterday. It's more than that. It's not the logo. The logo was just the final straw that broke the camel's back. It's all about rules. There was an information packet. This was shared by Robbie Starbuck. You can find him at Robbie Starbuck. He lives in Nashville. An informational packet on creating LGBTQ safe spaces that were distributed at Cracker Barrel corporate offices. It says, safe zone communities. We're going to set them up. We will not tolerate heterosexist and cisgenderism comments and actions. And dude, what is a safe zone? A safe zone is a community of people who will be understanding, supporting, and trustworthy of the LGBTQ community when people need help, advice, or just someone to talk to. And there's 3 or 4 bullet points that they go into. This is the kind of thing that has made Cracker Barrel over the last several years drop exponentially when it comes to their stock prices and even the quality that they serve. I'm not the only one that's noticed that when you go to Cracker Barrel, it's not like it used to be. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. So they hire this woke lady with the huge, thick glasses, the one that always shows up. And what does she do? She introduces these crazy concepts of safe spaces, and you can't say this and you can't do that. And if you mess up, you're out. If you say the wrong thing, you're out, which doesn't align with anything that's happening in America today.
Invariably, when you roll in the CEO with their very woke ideology and can we be honest about Cracker Barrel? First off, I haven't been there in 20 years. When I did go, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay? I just don't go very often. Cracker Barrel is the most down-home, chill, lily white facility ever. All right, it's like where everyone goes after church.
That's right.
All right, that's
gravy
what it is.
Biscuits, hash brown casserole.
Yes, this is what it is. And to then have, because just by the nature of what goes on with this woke ideology, it first starts off with, well, if you're white, you're wrong. And you're bad.
Immediately. We have to create safe spaces against you.
And so you keep breaking that pen. It's hilarious. It's like
weird.
It keeps flying out of the innards of his pen keeps taking off in the pen. It's hilarious. Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Pulled me off sides. I was like, what was that?
It's a pen flying across the room.
No, but this is not about a logo. It's never about a logo.
That's where people keep making the mistakes. I saw it on TV this morning.
It's not about a logo.
That's all they're focused on, though.
This is about a self-hate for who your customer is.
Exactly right. And you know where it begins? Not only with the CEO, a guy named Gilbert Dahlia. Dude, 61, became one of the directors in July of 2020. He was the president and chief executive officer of DMI Consulting, a multicultural marketing, diversity, and inclusion and strategy firm in the U.S. He before he came to Cracker Barrel, he worked at Disney as a DEI agent. This is the type of people and the ideas that they were looking for in 2020 to change Cracker Barrel.
If I was to be hired as a CEO of Buffalo Wild Wings, and one of my first things I talked about was how chicken eaters are the initial colonization people. They're the initial colonizers. Inherently, there's something wrong with them. Do you think that would be detrimental to my Buffalo Wild Wings company?
Probably so.
That was one of the first. This woman is talking about this stuff, and you go, how do you drive down your own stock price? You start unleashing woke ideology, especially on a restaurant that caters to a certain crowd, and that crowd to me is the Sunday church crowd.
100%. That's who it is. That's their biggest audience. And yet, they decided, hey, we don't like it. It's like the Democrat Party, though. Think about it. What they did with the working class of people.
Yes, I'm going to run them off.
We don't like them anymore. How did that work?
Not too well. Not well.
So Cracker Barrel, they say, hey, we're going to take the things that matter most to our clientele, and we're going to label it as awful. And we're going to run them off. The logo was the farthest thing.
Nothing to do with it.
From the problems at Cracker Barrel. That was just the culmination of all of them.
If you were to tell me that you hire a CEO and the first thing they do is say, you know what, we're going to lean into this. In fact, we'll sell Bibles at the front. You know what we'll do? We'll actually have Bible study here on some of the other nights. If you lean into all these things, well, then you're not affecting the stock price. But the minute you start vilifying your audience, the people that walk through your doors as somehow there's something wrong with them, well, that's how you lose, what was it?
14%.
In one day. 14%.
And
Incredible.
it all hinged on the logo, but it was more than the logo.
Wasn't the logo. Was
don't
not the logo.
believe what you see on TV, because that's been the message, is it's the logo. Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra and Extra 106.3 when we come back. If you're interested in saving Social Security at all, this is a good start. Good start. Talk about it next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 25th. It's officially game week, as week one of the college football season is now here. Georgia Tech, they'll be in Boulder Friday night to play the Colorado Buffaloes. As for Georgia, they will play Saturday as they host Marshall. The Atlanta Braves, they avoided a sweep at the hands of the New York Mets yesterday with a 4-3 victory at Truist Park. The team is now in Miami for a 3-game series with the Marlins. First pitch is set for 6:40. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. And Tommy Fleetwood won the Tour Championship at East Lake yesterday afternoon for his first PGA Tour win. Fleetwood finished 3 strokes ahead of the field and took home the $10 million prize. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Walking into the office this morning from the car, I couldn't help but notice there was just a tinge of fall in the air, and Jure is nodding his head because he noticed it too. High today, 81. You just heard Los talking about college football and the fact that Tech will be out in Boulder. Georgia's got Marshall. College football is back. What does that mean? When you add all that up, that is the fall is here. I mean, we're right on top of it. The weather's changing. So for me and Los, at least, because we're customers of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they're getting ready to come out and do the fall and winter maintenance. So they'll make sure that our heating works the way it's supposed to, works efficiently, and keeps our houses warm. If you want that guarantee that you'll have a nice warm house this fall, this winter, then call Central Heating and Air Conditioning today. Get a maintenance agreement. And then I would say if you, when they're there, if they find something wrong, they can fix it while they're there. Doesn't matter if it's a carrier system or not, though they are your Atlanta carrier experts. They can repair it no matter the brand. And they, if it's past that and you need to get a new system, they can provide you with one of those too. Maintenance, they can do replacement, they can do repairs, they do it all. Chuck and his team at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, 770-GET-HEAT, centralheat.com.
September is Fan Appreciation Month at Truist Park. The fun begins as the Seattle Mariners come to town, September 5th through the 7th. The weekend includes live music before the game, as well as Grunge Night and Flannel Fest, all on Friday the 5th. Come dressed in your best 90s or grunge gear, and you may win free tickets to another game. To round out the weekend on Sunday the 7th, the first 3,000 kids will receive a beaded necklace, just like you see the players repping on the field.
Swung on, hit high and deep to left field, and that is gone! Home run! Braves lead!
Then, Dansby Swanson and the Cubs roll into town. September 8th through the 10th, presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Fans can enjoy 2 gate giveaways, including the Michael Harris II scooter bobblehead, presented by Xfinity, followed by the replica jersey giveaway, presented by Coke. See all of the fun this September and get your tickets at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
You protect your physical health by choosing your doctors carefully. Protect your financial health by choosing an attorney carefully. An accident can be very costly. You want to receive the compensation you deserve. Call Van Sant Law. My friend David Van Sant will take care of you, trust me, very well. The number is 855-GA-INJURY. The website is vansantlaw.com. In the event of an accident, it could be the most important phone call you make.
Gain a global perspective and specialized skills that many of today's top employers are seeking with an MBA from University of Maryland Global Campus. Study online and complete your degree in just 16 months for about $21K. Choose from MBA specializations in global business, marketing, HR, finance, and more. No application fee if you apply by September 3rd. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Comfort that shows up day in, day out. That's what I want when I get home. Cozy Earth nailed comfort with their bamboo sheets. These sheets are game changers. They are incredibly soft, they're breathable, and temperature regulating. Tanya sleeps hot. I sleep cold. Somehow or another, both of us have found a way to sleep perfectly. It's really like magic. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheets wick away heat and moisture, helping you stay cool and cozy all night long. And their everywhere pant, next level. It's the go-to for everything. Travel, work, chasing the kids, or doing nothing at all. They're clean cut, super stretchy, and unbelievably comfortable. Refined comfort meets real-world performance. Everyone I know who's tried Cozy Earth is hooked. Seriously, you'll wish you switched sooner. And there's no risk. 100-night sleep trial, 10-year warranty. Try them, wear them, love them, or send them back. But you're not going to because they're great. CozyEarth.com. Use the promo code BECK for up to 40% off the softest bedding, bath, and apparel. Built for real life. Made to keep up with yours. Cozy Earth. You can thank me later and tell them I sent you.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's Tug, and here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Just look at virtually all of the major cities in this country. They are all run by Democrats. Democrat mayors, Democrat aldermen, city councilmen, and these cities have a crime problem.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Tug and Los until 10. Thank you for being here. 404-741-1230. Yes, we have our number back. At Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms to jump into any conversations you would like, politics or otherwise, like college football. The fact college football's back is amazing, and an interesting story, the Hawaii kicker.
If you missed it over the weekend, it's like one of the cool stories that you get from college football. So it was a young man who had come over to the United States and got a chance to watch American football. Thought, man, that's really cool. And young man is named Kansai Matsuzawa, and 20 years old, Japanese kid. Ends up deciding when he went back home, I'm going to learn to do something in football. I'm going to learn how to place kick. So he went on YouTube and watched all these tutorials on how to kick a football.
Right.
That ends up becoming down the road a scholarship as a kicker at Hawaii, and he kicked the game winner against Stanford to beat them in their opening game of the season.
Goodness gracious, man. Don't you love sports? That right there encapsulates what is great about sports. The people that have been told no their entire life excel to the top. Or maybe it's the kid that's always been destined to be great and is, like an Arch Manning or something. I mean, there's just that. There's so much there. There's stories of of both of those happening all the time. I mean, think about how many times Ozzie Albies has been told, no, you're not big enough to play baseball. You're not big enough to play in the big leagues. And yet he is.
Or you teach yourself how to kick from YouTube, go to a random JUCO in Ohio. It ends up landing you in Hawaii, and you kick the game winner to open up your senior year.
That's big time, man.
Pretty cool story.
That's exactly what I love about sports right there.
So give me all those stories.
Yes,
all of them this whole week as we, let's face it. It's been a tough run for the Braves season.
Yeah.
All right, but
Although they didn't lose yesterday, thankfully. They tried.
They gave you a little life here. Yeah. And so I now have two things I can watch because I'm still watching Braves baseball.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, me too.
But now I get college football that's going to be in front of me, and then the NFL starts the following week. So I'm in a good place now.
Absolutely. So much to look forward to. I'm like you. I'm not going to stop watching the Braves. I watched the Braves during the 80s, sitting next to my pop, at home when they were terrible and you could buy $10 seats in the dugout next to Dale Murphy. So, I'll continue to watch the Braves as well. Donald Trump working on your behalf. If you're interested in saving Social Security, I can't imagine what this number is. I want you to hear him talking about taking off this astonishing number of illegal aliens that have been using the Social Security system, of course, illegally. Listen to this.
Benefits, we've already kicked nearly 275,000 illegal aliens off of the Social Security system. These are people, many of them have already left the country, and yet we were sending them checks all the time. And 275,000, and that number is now even larger than that, Frank. It's an unbelievable job. And what that's doing is making the system strong.
Dude, I just did a quick Google search. Average Social Security payout, $2,000 times 275,000 people. That was what was being stolen from Social Security.
I always like when we see the memes online of the thing that never happens happened again. And most of the time, it's somebody who represents the gay community. They might be a teacher, they might be a counselor, and they get found with child porn. And you're like, oh, the thing that never happens happened again. Well, I was already told that illegals can't access these benefits.
Believe me.
Right?
Aunt Peg gave me a diatribe one time about how, they can't get. I was like, but they are.
But they are. In fact, when I was growing up, it was regular to have, extensive amounts of kids that were in the English as a second language class. These were not legal as far as who was all in there.
Yeah.
And so you're go saying, hold on a second. My property taxes are what pays for this school. How are you here? Well, they were accessing the benefits of the community.
Of course.
So this is not new. This is not foreign. It's just we're actually, after, 30, 40 years of this, putting our foot down.
275,000 at the time, 275,000 times $2,000 a month. That is what was being pulled out. And like Trump said, the number's greater than that now that they've been able to access the Social Security database. And that was a big victory for Doge in and of itself, being able to access that and try to maintain, because when you look at Social Security, you look at the benefit, you look at that and Medicare, and then our military spending, that's 3/4 of our budget in the United States, and we're $37 trillion in debt.
Well, we're told all the time, you only have access to about 19% of the budget. Just you're laying it out there. It's like 80% of our budget. Here's what it is. And you can't touch it. Here's what the numbers are going to be. But it doesn't mean you can't reform portions of it. Now, I'm not saying that we change the benefit age from 65 to 67 with Social Security, but you shouldn't have, just as we noted, 275,000 illegals that should not be able to get a hold of it. These are the benefits that you're looking for. You're looking to say, I'm not changing it, but I'm going to make this a lot tighter and a lot cleaner as it should be.
I guess I'll have to be the bad guy. At some point, we're going to have to change something. It can't continue this way.
And I will say
it just
this,
makes no sense.
On Thursday, we had Dr. Rich McCormick who joined us. You can always go check that out over on the app on Thursday's show. That's the first time. That's where I talk about the momentum that's building within this movement. That's the first time I've heard any one of these guys that we've had on, or women, talk about reforming Medicare, Medicaid, going down this road of just flat out telling you, we have a debt bomb coming. We're not going to be able to pay for this stuff.
Anybody that does a budget for your home, does a budget for your family, if you take 80% of everything you earn and you tie it up in something, leaving 20%, you know at some point you're going to run out of money. It's just impossible to run a budget that way, run a family that way, let alone a country of 320 million people.
And one of the aspects we talked about with Dr. Rich McCormick was that because of our declining birth rates in the Western world, we will not have enough workers to cover for our older people, our older
like
generation.
A Ponzi scheme or something to me.
There won't be enough.
It just seems like that. Maybe it's not, but it sure seems like it.
We will see. At least the discussion has started.
We don't have enough people to feed into.
We don't have enough people to feed. Yes.
Isn't that exactly how a Ponzi scheme works?
And we've run out of money.
That's right.
Run out of those investors.
Oh, my goodness.
See, Tug, if you get one person to sign up, you do all right. But if you get two people to sign up underneath you, now you're really making money.
That's right. It sounds like Avon or something, doesn't it? All right, when we continue on Extra 106.3, CNN's Abby Phillips says she sees no lawfare. What? It's just see no evidence of lawfare. We'll talk about it next on Extra.
The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. With daily commentary you'll hear throughout the day. And he's on live with the Morning Extra every Tuesday morning at 7:30. Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3. And catch all of Neil's commentary on the Extra app.
The EQE electrifies the essence of Mercedes-Benz values. The road to the future might not even be a road. Why not travel in comfort with confidence and the competence to meet every new mile with a can-do attitude? That's the aptitude of the EQE SUV. Get an exceptional offer on the all-electric 2025 Mercedes-Benz EQE 250 Plus SUV. Just $599 per month for 36 months with $78.93 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details and see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through September 2nd, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, Trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
A story of kindness after a car crash in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania makes today's Dean's List. Nathaniel Bunn witnessed a vehicle flip over onto its roof in his neighborhood. He didn't hesitate to help. Nathaniel jumped out of his car and rushed over. The driver was trapped inside, and with his son and father, they tried to pry open the door, but it wouldn't budge. And so Nathaniel decided to hold the woman's hand until help finally arrived. He says it's the only thing he knew how to do at that point, and she squeezed it back for comfort. The woman didn't say a word, but Nathaniel kept talking to her, saying she would be okay and that help was on the way. He stayed there with the driver until the paramedics arrived, and once she was rescued, he called the hospital to check on her despite not knowing her name. Nathaniel says he hopes she's doing well, and he was glad he was there to be a presence. The advice he gives to others is if you see someone in need, please help. Sometimes just knowing you're there can give someone hope. Janice Dean, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Van Sant Law, vansantlaw.com.
Points
Point of no return. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. Illegal Salvadorian Kilmar Abrego Garcia set to report to immigration authorities in Baltimore this morning, facing deportation to Uganda.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia is expected to show up at the ICE office there just days after he was released from a Tennessee jail. He is in the country illegally, of course, and faces human smuggling charges. He's been offered a deal to be removed to Costa Rica if he pleads guilty to those charges. If he doesn't accept that offer, he could be taken to Uganda. Now, Abrego Garcia became the focus of critics of the president's illegal immigration crackdown after he was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. Now, during his time in El Salvador, Abrego Garcia was visited by Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen.
Fox's Doug Luzader there. Senator Van Hollen continues to defend Abrego Garcia and his trip to El Salvador. President Trump planning to expand his crime and immigration crackdown to other cities, much like what's playing out right now in Washington, D.C. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson.
One place President Trump is weighing sending forces is to Chicago next, but the mayor says that's not happening and said, quote, what is the president doing? He's declared a war on poor people. You know, picking on homeless people, you know, picking on the most vulnerable. That is not what the people of Chicago are going to stand for. Over 2,000 National Guard soldiers patrolling the streets of the nation's capital. Maryland Governor Wes Moore invited President Trump to visit Baltimore. He also rejected the idea of the Guard coming into the city with the second highest murder rate this year. Over 50 citizens killed per 100,000 residents.
The White House crediting President Trump's crackdown in D.C. with hundreds of arrests. 19 people are dead, including 4 journalists, after an Israeli strike hit a southern Gaza's main hospital on Monday. That's according to the Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Coffee, keys, and extra 106.3. That's how I get to work and home.
Of course, it's first thing on a Monday, and I have to start the 7 o'clock hour with an apology. I have to correct myself, which is not that uncommon. If you know me, I get it wrong more I get it right, I guess.
Tried to cover for you.
Well, you did good, and I appreciate it. I said last hour that it was today is the 2-year anniversary of the mugshot. It was yesterday, so I want to get that correct before I... You
didn't light a candle like I did?
You know I didn't.
I went, that really changed the whole political landscape. Thank you, Fonnie Willis.
That's exactly right. I should have. Had I been thinking about it, I should have. But I didn't even realize it yesterday. I read it this morning because I'd seen where Mike Collins had posted it, and I was like, oh, I got to remember to bring that up. And it didn't occur to me, hey, you should probably look at the timestamp, which was yesterday.
It changed the entire political landscape, that one picture. Yeah, it was that powerful.
Yeah. And the funny part is the Democrats, they thought they had it. Like, they were like, this is it. This is the apex of everything we've done. We're going to put this picture out there, and it's going to sink Donald Trump. He's done it over with.
I keep trying to tell them, they should probably have me as a consultant. The only one who can take out Donald Trump is Donald Trump. They have spent the better part of a decade trying to separate his voters from him. They cannot do it. Only he can. They have never understood this. Hey, he's a rapist. Didn't matter. Oh, he's a sexual assaulter. Didn't matter. He's a 34-time felon. Didn't matter. Well, look what he did. Criminal conspiracy in Georgia. Didn't matter. He took documents he wasn't supposed to have. Did not matter. He faked being shot in Pennsylvania. Didn't matter. That's right. All right, it has to be him. And that's their problem. It's that it makes it very difficult because all of their tactics they've ever used on every other politician work. They don't work on Donald Trump.
What do I say all the time, though? Truth matters. Everything you laid out that didn't matter was because it wasn't true.
Yeah.
The truth actually matters. Imagine that.
They spent so
novel
much
concept.
I'll tell you. And so much of this goes back to Joe Biden, COVID. All this stuff is tied in together. Like, we learned lessons. There was some point where the regular average Joe in America went, kind of feels like I'm being lied to and getting hosed here. And by the time we got to last June, when we got that debate, that ended the American news media as we know it. Because everyone went, wow, I'm been lied to for 4 years straight, lied to.
Isn't it amazing, Los, that the Democrat Party thought they had Donald Trump, and they just knew it, and then that went out the window. That was their big moment. And then they lied to you for 4 years. And then that, again, was another huge moment where the American people just saw the light bulb go off, and they're like, wait a minute, what? This dude can't even function.
All right, I need
2 moments that changed the course of history.
I need our liberal friends to lean into the radio a little bit, turn on your cell phone up a little bit, okay?
If you're listening on the app.
As of right now, Donald Trump is more powerful and more popular than he's ever been before. Even more popular than Barack Obama at this point. Them's the numbers.
But why? I think that's the kicker.
Because we're no longer playing politics as usual. For years, the Democrats have always been able to depend on, didn't matter what Republican was in the White House. Hey, the establishment is the establishment for a reason. It's opposition party in name only. The Democrats and Republicans get a chance to say bad things about one another, but in the meantime, can't wait to have drinks, shake hands, and figure out how they're going to chop the country up for each other. You now have the true system disruptor there. Both sides can't stand him, but the American people love him.
That's right. Well, it's because usually when you're told over and over and over the same thing, if every network is saying the same thing, at least I do, I pause and go, why is everybody telling me the same thing? Why are the Democrats and the Republicans, why do they sound so similar in everything that they say? And then you peel back a little bit and you realize, they're on the same side. It's the uniparty. That's what we've had for 50 years. Donald Trump has changed that and made America a better place because of it.
What is going on in D.C. right now is so dangerous to the rest of the country. Why is that? Militarizing an area? No, that's not it. Donald Trump's going to turn the troops against you. No, that's not it either. He's showing that you can take one of the most dangerous American cities and in 10 days make it safe.
They didn't have one murder in the last 9 days. Not one murder. In the murder capital of the country.
That's how easy you can turn stuff around if your representatives choose to.
They choose to.
Why don't they choose to? Because the chaos ensures their power.
Yeah.
That's what Donald Trump is showing you. That's alarming. Can you imagine how alarming it was for the Democrats to start seeing the numbers at the border, how they were just gone, done, where all you had to do was enforce border law? That's it. That's all you had to do. Laws were already on the books. Everything was already taken care of. You now are showing in D.C. what you can do by just having a regular law enforcement available and visible on the street.
They didn't need a new law. They needed a new president. It's exactly what Donald Trump said. And if you're a Democrat, you have to be just taking it on the chin going, my party is screwed. John Kerry, we saw him, and he was talking about this. While overseas, John Kerry physically said, the Democrats got it wrong on the border, and we continue to get it wrong. John Kerry, of all people, I would have never guessed. If you would have bet me $1 million, you pick the person, you pick the establishment Democrat, the one that's been around forever, to say that the Democrat party has screwed itself, I would not have chosen John Kerry.
And I'm so proud of this audience and also what I have detected on social media. Because, again, I'm on social media on a regular basis. Now, I don't post all the time. Most of the time, it's mostly because it's something I found which is funny. I'm like, haha, that's good.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is this, and I think I have a pretty good gauge about where things are going. This the same time when I told you the Epstein files didn't matter, when every other pundit out there was, well, it's a matter of truth. It was like, this audience doesn't care about it. Just doesn't care. What is happening right now is that this audience And a large amount of America is completely fine with running every single illegal out of here, regardless of what they've done in the past. That's number one. I did not expect it to this level. Okay, that was surprising to me. Number two, the amount of people that after the raid on Bolton's home on Friday who said, well, you reap what you sow.
Well, but that's just common sense, man.
There is not a lot of, oh my God, I can't believe we decided to do. It's like, no, you did this to me for 4 years, and here's what I got a list. Tug, you ready?
Yep.
They went after Trump. That's the obvious one, right?
Yep.
They went after Jan 6. Those are the obvious ones. They went after parents at school board meetings. They went after Catholics. They went after those who wouldn't take the shot. They went after those who spoke out against the shot using social media. They had a targeted list. They were going after individual Americans. And you think suddenly now that we have power, that we're suddenly supposed to go, I got the boxing gloves on, we're in the ring, and now you don't want to fight. Tough luck, man.
Absolutely right. And here's the thing. It doesn't even have to be about retribution for me. All it has to be about is doing the right thing. Are these people guilty of what they are accused of doing?
Have they been using the power within government to go after the individual American citizen, including a former president?
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
But if you're Abby Phillips, if you watch CNN, you would say, well, I've not seen that.
This idea that this was a weaponized, these were all these different prosecutions and all these different jurisdictions were not all directed from one place. There's absolutely no evidence of that. You guys can tell me what evidence you have of that, but I've never seen it, and I've never heard anybody actually believe it.
I've never seen. Los had just laid it out, and that just serves up Abby Phillips to look like a complete fool or a complete liar. One of the two.
You can always go back to the logs. Fonnie Willis went to the White House multiple times. Yeah, we were the ones who brought it up on this show because that's part of the public record. Now, they gave her some cover because she ended up going, because it's in the White House information. She went to the Rose Garden for these meetings. So they could always say, well, she was never in the Oval Office. She was never here. No, she went to the White House in order to take part in these meetings on how to get Donald Trump.
Okay, then explain
Allegedly.
to me if you can write that one off. Let's say you can come up and we come up.
She was just visiting.
Let's say we can do that. Now tell me why Nathan Lane was there. Tell me why he was there.
Yeah,
her boyfriend Boo was there,
and Boo was the one because he's been singing, talking about how no, those coordination between the White House and them. Right. Just like you had, what was the person from within who ended up leaving and heading down to New York to assist in that prosecution?
Oh yes, he was
like second in command there, and they're like, well, we got to send you to New
York. That's exactly right. We'll have to look it up. Figure out.
Of course, there was no way that any of these things were going
on. Abby Phillips had never seen anything. Yeah, I don't know how. But the Nathan Wade thing, you just can't downplay that. You can't overlook that. You can't pretend that that's nothing. This is the dude she was paying that she was sleeping with. And that's not alleged. That was in court.
Yeah. Well, their relationship was no longer happening anymore, is what she told us all in court. Yet they kept showing up in places.
And still do.
Trump, January 6th. Okay, fine. I see what direction you want to go there. Explain to me why you were trying to infiltrate the Catholic Church. Explain to me why parents at school board meetings who had an issue with the curriculum, they were targeted. Tell me why, if you didn't take the shot. Remember, I was told that they were going to use the power of OSHA for any company over 100 people. Y'all better all get vaccinated or else we're losing our patients. Don't tell me about being in Philadelphia, having the Marines behind you with some crazy red lights and threatening the American people, making half of them into your enemy, and tell me, no, there was never any lawfare.
Because it was always lawfare.
It was always coming. It wasn't me. It's like what I said before. I didn't make Donald Trump. I didn't create the scenario for it. Their actions did.
Investigator Jure on the show, Alex Haskell is the guy's name.
There you go.
That was in D.C.
Nice job, Jure.
Yeah, he was the chief of staff of legislative affairs. And this is a Politico article where I found it. Stepping down from his job after 2 years, among the longest tenured chiefs of staff, 21 working in the building, and he was moving to New York to take a new gig. So you're going to leave this prestigious job in the White House to go to New York City and help prosecute Donald Trump.
Sounds like you were sent.
Now, Los, no. Surely not. You can't draw that conclusion. There's no way.
The fact is,
it's just by chance.
That side was drunk with power, and they also had the benefit of cover. There was a president in the White House who was a president in name only, and the communists could do whatever they wanted without any fear of retribution. Do you think anyone who was making the calls on this stuff is worried about retribution because their name is not part of this? It's Joe. Joe made the call.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're the one who signed the paperwork. Yeah, but it's all in Joe's name.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had no fear whatsoever.
None.
Because they've gotten away with it. But not just the last 4 years, Los. It's bigger than this, more than that. They've been getting away with it for 40 years.
But it was the perfect storm. Barack Obama knew it was going to be very difficult from a legislative perspective and then from being, as far as a legacy. If he ever opened up the border wide open the way that he probably wanted to, just like their party has always wanted to, it was going to be a problem for him.
Well, yeah, because it was sitting on his shoulders while he was in office. Fast forward.
But when the president is an invalid, when he's a vegetable.
And Barack Obama's running his campaign third term from the basement in his sweats.
They got to do whatever they wanted.
Exactly right.
You actually had the teachers' lounge, the full commies, go full commie on you for 4 years. And then they're suddenly surprised that there's a massive backlash and that when we start talking about redrawing districts in red states, nobody has a problem with it. When we talk about doing a new census in order to get illegals off it, none of us have a problem with it. They created this mentality. The new right is leading the charge on this. And we have absolutely none of the faults that the previous Republicans always had of being like, well, I'll just turn the other cheek. Well, I don't want to drop to their level. Well, the only thing that the communists the only thing that they respect is power back in their face.
That's exactly right. Just like terrorists.
That's it. That's all.
Same mentality.
If you do not punch them back in the face, they'll just wait their turn to do it to you again. You'll wonder, like, well, I didn't do anything to you for 4 years. Why are you trying to prosecute me? Why are you trying to lock me up? Because that's what they do. It's the scorpion and the frog.
But it's all justified. That's the difference. That's the big difference, is the fact that everything that is being prosecuted now, everything that's being investigated now, should be.
Yeah.
All of it.
That's what they did.
All of it should be. So again, when it comes to them saying this is about retribution, look, if I'm Donald Trump, I'm pissed too. But every one of these investigations are justified. That's the big difference. When you flip it over and you look at what the Democrats did, none of it was justified. That's the big difference.
Here's the area where I'm running to. I don't care if it's retribution. You got it coming.
No, that's right, which is fine.
You do. They did. When you have Adam Schiff going on and talking about it's all retribution, so that's like going to be the big word. They're going to be it's all retribution. It's all retribution.
All weekend. It's all you heard.
What I'm telling you is they're using old tactics because they think the old guard Republicans will back down. What I'm telling you is this group
is not fearful.
Will not do not care. Is it retribute? Hell yeah. Look what you did. Look what you went for. I mean, I'm sitting back in a radio studio going, well, am I really going to get fired over this? Because the president decided before the kickoff of the NFL season, it's the Cowboys and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I remember it was Tampa Bay was the champ. Here's 2021. They had just had Abbey Gate. They looked awful because of their withdrawal from Afghanistan. So the point was, we're going to show strength by telling all of America, you better take this or we're going to fire you. All right? The same thing when you find out, like, some parent goes, why am I on an FBI watch list? Because I went over to my school board to talk about what's going on in my community. You know, they went after so many people. They deserve retribution. You should not have one moment when your Aunt Peg goes, you're using retribution. You go, you're damn right.
I'm just fine with it.
You got this coming. You brought this on yourself. It's your butt from here.
But then you times that by the fact that it's justified. There's no losing. All of it works together. It's perfect. It's the perfect storm.
I'm here for it. And you know what? They can't do anything about it because they can't win elections. They're not going to be able to after we redraw these lines. And that new census is going to basically eliminate them for probably about the better part of a decade.
If not more.
So good luck. Enjoy yourself. You, being the Democrats out there, the liberals, the communists, you've never been the majority. You've played games to look that way.
Just like you were never the fundraiser. And now we've learned that.
And now we've learned that.
Yeah.
You got the Republicans raising over $80 million during the time period where the Democrats are getting 11. All right? If you don't have my money, you can't compete against me. That's what we've learned from all this now.
100%.
We have always been, we've been the majority that doesn't say anything. We are the silent ones.
Majority, yeah.
Different now.
Yeah.
We're the vocal majority. Deal with it.
That's right. And not afraid to tell you. When we continue on Extra 106.3. The next city Trump plans to clear up prefers crime to Trump's help. Next on Extra.
The Extra 106.3 app is your live connection to the station, streaming free across Georgia. But it's also loaded with all our original shows and podcasts. Listen to exclusive shows from Janelle King, Ben Burnett, and so many more. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Good morning, it's Los. Let's talk about Steele and Howard Brothers summer. It's heating up, and you should also heat up when it comes to your lawn game. Turn your yard into the summer paradise with powerful, reliable tools from Steele. And where do you get Steele? Howard Brothers. Whether it's, let's say, cutting or trimming or edging, Steele has top quality equipment that's built to perform and made to last as well. So let the trusted team at Howard Brothers help you tackle your to-do list with your yard. Make it the envy of all your neighbors. As soon as they see you out in the yard, they're like, he's got that Steele equipment. You're like, yeah, I do. That's why my yard looks so good. Find one near you at howardbrothers.com. You can check out one of their locations. They have people who've worked there for 10, 20, even 30 years. They know the equipment. They can help you out from there. Experts in the field to get your yard looking the way you want it to. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Steele and Howard Brothers.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family and something that will last a long, long time. In other words, you're buying trust. For a limited time, you can celebrate amazing offers on the all-new Forester, Crosstrek, or Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through September 2nd. And you'll love more than just your new Subaru. You'll love the dedicated staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. With some of the best service specials in the area and a team you know you can trust, you'll ride with peace of mind knowing that Subaru of Gwinnett has your back. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you'll find the Subaru model you've always dreamed about at a price that makes that dream come true. But you need to get in by September 2nd to take advantage. We'll make it easy. Just start with a test drive, and before you know it, you'll be in the Subaru you love. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com, then stop by on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Fox on Tech. What did that WhatsApp caller want? Maybe they'll start leaving you a voicemail. WhatsApp is gaining some popularity in the U.S. It is a messaging app by Meta that has a lot of fans overseas, mainly because it relies on data and not cellular minutes, which is a cost saver for folks in Europe, Asia, and Africa. But one thing you couldn't do in WhatsApp is leave a voicemail, but that is expected to change soon. Voice messages in WhatsApp aren't new. Users are able to record them and send them within chats. Technoblog reports that in a WhatsApp beta update for Android phones, if a call goes unanswered, the user will now get a button to record a voice message within the phone call. No need to leave the calling environment and head into the chat with that particular contact. The big question for U.S. users, however, is will they check their WhatsApp voicemail in addition to their other messages? With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Hurricane Katrina, 20 years on.
Hurricane Katrina left behind $125 billion worth of devastation to the New Orleans area and the Mississippi Gulf Coast that would take years to rebuild. It's also blamed for the deaths of almost 1,400 people. After first making landfall in Florida on August 25th as a Category 1 hurricane, it made landfall again 4 days later on the 29th near New Orleans, this time as a Cat 3 with a massive storm surge.
We're dealing with one of the worst natural disasters in our nation's history.
More than 1 million people left before the storm hit, but tens of thousands remained in their homes or took shelter at the New Orleans Convention Center or the Louisiana Superdome, which became a symbol for the challenges in the storm's aftermath.
They got disease in there, they got dead bodies. The bathrooms, we haven't used it since like Tuesday.
Katrina is one of the strongest storms to impact the U.S. Gulf Coast during the last 100 years. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Extra 106.3 FM. The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 25th. Troops from the Georgia National Guard could soon be deployed as part of a nationwide effort to support federal immigration enforcement. Up to 1,700 troops from multiple states may be called in to assist ICE. It's not clear yet how many Georgia troops would be involved or where they might be sent. Governor Kemp said he's actively communicating with the Trump administration on how to best support immigration work. A 16-year-old is facing multiple felonies after police say he called in a fake active shooter alert. The Newton County Sheriff's Office said the fake call was made to Alcovey High School on Friday. No weapons were found at the school. And a new manufacturing plant is open in Georgia. Toto, the Japanese company best known for high-tech bathroom fixtures, opened its new factory in Morrow on Friday. The $224 million facility covers over 340,000 square feet. Production is expected to begin this fall. Today's weather, mostly sunny and dry today, no rain in sight with highs in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
When you leave the house or you walk into the office, you'll notice that the weather feels a little fall-like today. It is a beautiful day, and then the fact that college football is back, gosh, if you love this time of year, you're going to love today because it is near perfect. And this weekend, or at least yesterday, yesterday was gorgeous. My wife and I just after dinner just went and sat on our front porch and listened to tunes and talking about, because our son came home. He went to the Jason Aldean concert Saturday night and went to the Braves game yesterday, and then back to Augusta. Him and just a group of friends. And it was so awesome to have him home, Los, and you're not there yet because you have your girls at home, but it ain't gonna be long. It goes by quick. It was so cool to just be able to see him for a few minutes. Like when he was in Charleston, it was hardly ever, dude, being in Augusta, like 2.5 hours home. He pops over and heads back out. Now,
it's easy.
Yeah, he was not there to see us. we just provided tickets and we provided food. That's it. That was our contribution to his weekend getaway, if you will.
Did he find it weird when he pulled up? Y'all were playing Pictionary? You and your wife, just two people?
No. Yeah. He was like, you smell the other players? Is that boring by yourself? Yeah. No, Pictionary's not one that gets in there a lot, but Scrabble is. We're a Scrabble family for sure. And I'm awful. I suck at Scrabble. I thought I would be good, but I'm not.
It's weird how you and your wife played Battleship out on the front porch. All the neighbors are like, that's kind of strange, man.
B-14. Oh, you suck
the
at
Navy
Battleship.
background that gives him an advantage.
Yeah, exactly, it does. And it gives me clearance, too. They can't make fun of me. I'll be like, look, I'm just reliving my youth.
He keeps losing because he actually has it like a naval battle group, like they're all tucked in together.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like Al Bundy's still talking about 5 touchdowns at Pope High.
Yeah, that's right.
I sank this battleship on the
Well, I have to talk about that because I have no sports to talk about. I never got off the bench. They wouldn't even let me get off the bench to pick up a foul ball. They're like, we got it. You just stay right there, kid. That was just good enough to make the team.
Make sure the dugout didn't fly away.
Yes, that's exactly right. They're like, here's a broom. We're gonna go hit Fungo, and why don't you clean up the dugout here, kid?
I love it.
Yeah, that was my coming up. But it is. We sat at the front porch last night. It was absolutely gorgeous. So if you love this type of weather, man, we're headed into maybe the best time of year. That's because you got college football. You're gonna have playoff baseball. I mean, it's the best time of year. Most people love this weather. Super mild, not super humid. It's certainly a blessing. If you like this, we're headed into the sweetheart of it.
We're getting near the 30-day mark where we're going to have, I think it's like 25 members of our family, in-laws, cousins, everything that are going to be in town.
Oh, wow.
Because that's going to be the Redskins-Falcons game.
Oh.
And so they're all coming in for that. But the evening, that's Georgia, Alabama. So this is like the countdown to try and get everything situated to where when we have all these people. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It's like it's a fun time of year. And again, as an NBA fan for myself, I get that in October. So as I get through the first month of college football, pro football, I'll be like, all right, then basketball getting going too.
You worry about taking the family into downtown Atlanta. I mean, you go straight to the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or straight to whatever the venue is, and then straight, because we went to Toad the Wet Sprocket. I took my wife, that's our favorite band, took her Friday night to see them at Atlanta Symphony Hall. And we parked probably 2 blocks away, something like that. And I'll be honest, and I've always been...
Roll your windows down?
Never. For no reason.
Don't break my window.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, actually, that's probably a better idea. Just that way you...
Take what you want.
Or just don't leave anything in there. Windows are down. You can see it, whatever. But there was that that bit of me, and I've always been this way a little bit. I'm just very aware of my surroundings. I always pay attention. I always notice everything. But I had my wife, her sister, and my niece with us, and so I felt responsible for all three of them. And nothing happened, but there was just those moments where people pass or come up behind you that you're just on alert more than others.
I say this to all the women out there, especially young women, but then also women of an advanced age. Stay off your cell phone in public.
Absolutely, dude.
Stay off your cell phone in public. Like, you can wait till you're in the car
Keep
or
your head
wherever.
on a
Just
swivel.
stay off your phone in public. I've done this with my daughters since they were very young. I was like, you get off the car, that phone is in your pocket. You do not go and mess with that thing.
Know what's going on around.
I was like, just head on a swivel. Just know what's around.
Is it tougher with girls?
Yeah. Because, let's face it, most of this stuff targets women.
Of course. Because I feel like as long as Jacob's with his buds downtown, wherever they're going, if they're going to tech or
not
going to
messing with a pack of dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's asking for trouble.
And they're looking out for each other. They're actively looking out for each other. So,
but even the young man, like, let's say you are on a campus somewhere in a major metropolitan area, and you're staring at your phone while you're walking.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're a target too.
You're a target.
Absolutely, because you're weak.
Yeah,
your
not
focus
paying any
is in
attention.
the wrong place.
Yeah.
There are cities across America that are like this. It's not just downtown Atlanta. It sucks that downtown Atlanta's that way. It sucks that you got to feel this way. But, we have a dear friend who's got a kid at Georgia Tech, and his car has been broken into once every 6 months. And he's got to, you say, roll your windows down? I'm not kidding. That's basically what he does now.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave anything in there, just rolls the windows down. That way, if anybody, wants to get in there and check out the fact that there's nothing there, that they at least don't have to replace the window.
Yeah.
That's real,
It's a pain.
dude.
Yeah, it's real. It's totally real. So you have these cities where people are just asking for additional security. Like, if you could go into Atlanta and not worry about having your window broken out and your bags taken or whatever you have, that'd be great. That also requires more of a presence, police or otherwise, that are on the street, that are, and a lot of this is, how do you keep young criminals who are not having to worry about being locked down, really? How do you keep them from trying to steal stuff? Because that's an overwhelming carjackings and the theft on the street and the burglaries. A lot of these offenders look at it and say, I'm 16, what's the big deal? I'll be out in 24 hours. Some of them, I've seen the videos because I find it really enjoyable. When they do commit a bigger crime, they still think, I'm out in 24 hours until the judge says, no, we're trying you as an adult.
And then here comes the tears.
Here comes the tears. like, oh, no, you're going away. We'll see you at 50. So I want you to listen to, this ends up being Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago. And if there's anything that has been really great about having the amount of police presence in D.C., is now other communities are asking, especially black communities. Why is that so important here? Because that has always been the Democrat stronghold. They've always been able to bet on, hey, we're going to get 96% of the black voters. Well, that dropped. And under Trump, that number continues to fall. If they were living right around 80%, the Democrats will never win another election. So you have these large black communities going, look what they did in D.C. D.C., the largest amount of people there as far as a group are black. It's 45% black. So other communities like Chicago, their leadership is worried. What if he comes here and he cleans it up that quickly? How much is that going to hurt us with this voting block that we need? Take a listen to Brandon Johnson, how concerned he is.
And so, look, we're going to remain firm. We'll take legal action. But the people of this city are accustomed to rising up against tyranny. And if that's necessary, I believe that the people of Chicago will stand firm alongside of me as I work every single day to protect the people of this city.
We're going to rise up.
We're going to rise up, huh?
Who are you rising up against? That's what I'm saying.
We're going to make sure that they don't come to help.
We're going to rise up against the people sent here to help us. That makes no sense. And the beauty is, it makes no sense to the people that live there either. When they hear this, they're like, what's this fool talking about?
There's a reason why he has a 6% approval rating.
Yeah, because they're always asking, what's this fool talking about?
All right, you have 237 homicides so far in Chicago. You're on pace for 500, and that's an improvement. During the height of BLM, it was 800. Tell me how BLM worked out for the black community. 800 murders. You now have this scenario where people on the street in Chicago. I've seen the posts on social media. They're like, please come on in here. Now, is it as dangerous as it was a couple of years ago? No. But you see what's happening in D.C. and you're like, I want a piece of that.
Can we clean this city up?
Can we get this thing done?
Give me the Georgia National Guard in Atlanta. That way I don't feel crazy when I'm walking into Atlanta Symphony Hall worried about some crazy person coming up behind us and it's still daylight outside. You know, it's an awful feeling and I hate it. And I remember what captured it most for me when my son was, I don't know, we'll call it 10 years old, 8 or 10 years old. We were going into the Fox and he asked me, Daddy, how do we know something bad's not going to happen? He was thinking about it at that age.
Yeah.
Because he knows what happens. He sees the news. He sees it on social media. When my son asked me that, it broke my heart, dude. And I'm sure it would any parent. Because your goal in life is to protect them and not make them feel vulnerable when they're going to a play at the Fox. That's the worst. And Brandon Johnson wants to say, man, we're going to push back. We're going to fight back against those people wanting to keep the peace.
Now, there's another fun element of this, and this was from last night. So J.B. Pritzker, governor of Illinois, he made the point, he reached out to the National Guard in their state and wanted to clarify, hey, you're with us, right? Like, you're not going to do this. And reportedly, the National Guard said, you're not our boss, he is, referring to the president.
Title 10 U.S. Code, federal law that outlines the role of the U.S. Armed Forces, this is according to Reuters, includes a provision allowing the president to deploy National Guard units to repel an invasion, suppress rebellion, or allow the president to execute law. Trump cited this, and there's a section known as 12406 when he can send the National Guard units, just like he did in California, over the objection of governors. And especially what makes this all work together, what makes it all tie together, according to Reuters, is that sanctuary city status keeps them from working with the federal government. So then they are breaking federal law. That allows the National Guard to go in and be used. Will it be challenged? Of course it will in court.
100%.
But that is the actual statute that Donald Trump is using. It's what he used in California. Obviously in D.C. he didn't need to do that because, as the discussion we've had, he has the authority to do it.
They have federal authority to do it.
But they had to find a way to be able to do it in other cities, and that's how he's done it.
Well, in the situation in California and in Los Angeles, and this is where we tell you we called balls and strikes on this, because there was actual violence going on the streets. You had mobs, you had rioting. He didn't need to wait for anything. He was just able to roll people in. What we talked about is what happens legally in a community that doesn't have this. As much as there's a lot of shooting and a lot of issues that go on in Chicago. In fact, I had a story from the weekend. Do you know that there was a wreck on the street? Okay, just a regular car accident. And somebody drove by and shot at the police officer and the people that were standing around.
In Chicago?
In Chicago, over the
Lord,
weekend.
No, I didn't see that.
This weekend that happened.
Wow.
So would you not think this kind of feels like a pretty lawless society if this is what's going on?
Yeah.
But it's not in your face, things burning in the way. So I do believe you will see a legal challenge that occurs here.
Sure you will. But that's what statute he's working under, and it says in the sanctuary city, it bars city officials from cooperating with federal immigration agents, preventing the president from executing federal immigration law, giving him the ability to activate the National Guard. So if you're looking for the way he's going to do that, that's what it is. And it's really sad because we had the, and this blew up over the weekend, you had the woman who's been carjacked in Chicago. She's got a broken arm, and she's on social media bragging about how I don't need your help. This crazy lady has been carjacked several times before.
Well, I will say this. She's talked about carjacking for 6 years. And so whenever she wants to get political, she brings it up.
And here's the thing. In her posts, she talks about getting carjacked and how the perpetrator, the person that pulled this off, still hasn't been prosecuted in her social media posts. And then she's going to proudly say, yeah, I got a broken arm during carjacking, but no, I don't want your help, Donald Trump. My TDS is too strong. I don't want any help from you. I'll take the broken arm. I'll take on these carjackers by myself.
How about this story? Gunman pulls up to Humboldt Park crash scene, shoots and critically injures one police. A gunman pulled up to a Northwest Side crash scene and shot somebody early Sunday morning, Chicago police said. The police said the shooting happened in Humboldt Park neighborhood, 3800 block of West Chicago Avenue, around 1:45 in the morning. Somebody pulled up to a car wreck and shot at it.
And then Jill, I stopped carrying a purse because I got carjacked. This is the lady bragging that she doesn't want the help from Donald Trump. That's what's happening in Chicago, and that's why Donald Trump is taking an interest. Guess who's next? Baltimore. And then there's probably several cities. I would imagine St. Louis will be one of them. There's going to be a bunch of cities that get welcomed I guess they'll probably be unwelcomed by the government there, but I think the people will welcome the National Guard there because they see what's happening in D.C. and the success that Donald Trump's had there. 7 o'clock hour brought to you by Van Sant Law Group. If you're in an accident, make the right call. VanSantLaw.com. When we come back, the reason Trump remains so popular. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 25th. It's officially game week, as week one of the college football season is now here. Georgia Tech, they'll be in Boulder Friday night to play the Colorado Buffaloes. As for Georgia, they will play Saturday as they host Marshall. The Atlanta Braves, they avoided a sweep at the hands of the New York Mets yesterday with a 4-3 victory at Truist Park. The team is now in Miami for a 3-game series with the Marlins. First pitch is set for 6:40. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. And Tommy Fleetwood won the Tour Championship at East Lake yesterday afternoon for his first PGA Tour win. Fleetwood finished 3 strokes ahead of the field and took home the $10 million prize. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, this is John Flading. I'm the president and owner of ATL Turf Co. We have become a highly sought-after turf installation company in the Atlanta and North Georgia luxury residential market. The big reason for that is our installers are ATL Turf Co. employees. We do not outsource labor. They are trained to be experts in the turf installation process, drainage, grading. Just go to atlturfco.com to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Lowe's here to tell you about a new, stress-free, and completely transparent way to purchase your next pre-owned car, truck, or SUV. It's with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, traditionally, I've been a payment buyer. How do you work with that type of buyer?
I have people that come in all the time and they want to spend $20,000. Okay, if their payments are $400 on $20,000, they don't realize without the doc fees, without all this other stuff, we can put them in a 22 or 23 model car and we can spend a little bit more money and have the same payment. So if you're a payment buyer, don't come in here just saying, I want to spend $20,000, because we can sit there and help you and we can put you in a newer car with lesser miles at a payment you need.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
This is Poll Paris with Fox News Director of Polling, Dana Blanton.
What are Americans looking for from Washington? We asked voters in our Fox News survey to pick one of 2 messages to send to the federal government. Lend me a hand or leave me alone. More than half, 52%, would say lend me a hand. 45% would ask Washington to leave them alone. Those numbers are mostly unchanged since 2022. However, compared to a year ago, the number of Democrats who would ask Uncle Sam to lend a hand is down 10 points and stands at 58%. The opposite is true among Republicans. A record high 48% would ask for a hand, up 16 points since last year. Groups most likely to want government to step up include blacks and voters under age 45, men under 45 in particular. Overall, since 2011, this is only the third time a majority would ask Washington for a hand, including a high of 57% in 2020 during the pandemic. Lend us a hand. Go to foxnews.com/poll. I'm Dana Blanton. That's your poll parade.
Securing America.
As many as 1,700 National Guardsmen from 19 states will be helping Homeland Security implement the president's crackdown on illegal immigration and crime, with many of the call-ups expected to run from August through November. A Pentagon source telling Fox the service members supporting ICE will be performing clerical functions associated with the processing of illegal migrants. Still to be seen is how much, if any, role the Guardsmen may play in the president's possible plan to expand recent actions in Washington, D.C., where almost 2,000 Guardsmen are on patrol in an effort to reduce crime. The president saying last week in Washington,
"We're going to stay here for a while. We want to make this absolutely perfect. It's our capital."
He added this Friday in the Oval Office.
"Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next."
A Pentagon spokesman told Fox the department would not speculate on future operations. Ken Uretsky, Fox News.
Promises made, promises kept. The president is making the economy great again. He's securing the border for America's safety, and the mainstream media still wants to tear him down.
The media wants Donald Trump to fail. That's their goal. That's how they'll report his progress.
But we know the truth, and we give you the perspective that other stations won't. Atlanta's only conservative voice is Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Donald Trump will continue to win because people want to feel safe. And we're coming out of the craziest, 8 or 10 years of American history. I was just reading that it was 8 years ago on Friday that ESPN took a play-by-play announcer named Robert Lee off the broadcast. He was calling a Virginia football game because they were afraid people would confuse him with Robert E. Lee, the general. Do you remember when this happened? I remember it happening, and I couldn't believe.
I've never heard that.
I couldn't believe it was happening. It was so ridiculous and
That
absurd.
sounds like the Babylon Bee.
I know. But
Yeah, it seems fake, but
I remember it happening, y'all. I remember this coming down. Look it up. Verify. I remember talking to Hudson Mason about it. We were like, because he was working at ESPN at the time, and just in disbelief that something like this. So that's what we're coming out of. That's the type of nonsense.
Yes, there was so much virtue signaling going on. So many things that were just nutty. And there was always assumptions being made. Like, for instance, if you got rid of the team named Redskins, well, that would solve all the problems going on in D.C., right? If you got rid of the Cleveland Indians, well, you just went ahead and signaled to all the state of Ohio, maybe it'll turn blue. Because look what we did.
Right.
We fixed it, right?
Everything's good.
Whereas here in Atlanta and in Kansas City, we're like, here's the finger. Don't care. Move along.
August 23rd, 2017, New York Times. ESPN pulls announcer Robert Lee from Virginia game because of his name. Telling you, that's how crazy things were. And when you look and you go, all of a sudden, Donald Trump, because of the mugshot that was taken 2 years ago here in Atlanta, all of that has been wiped away. All of their successes.
So this is where I point out how they just do not get it. This other side, this antagonist group that are like, whatever we can do to get Donald Trump, we got to do it. So over the weekend, it was Don Winslow. Now, this guy is a guy who's written some books, ends up on New York Times bestseller list. And he ended up putting out a video. And it was from a rally of Hispanics for Trump. And Don Winslow ended up tweeting out, in 2024, Latino voters supported Trump in record numbers. They helped Trump win. Now the Trump administration is hunting and kidnapping them off the streets, caging them and revoking their legal status. We really need to talk about hashtag Latinos for Trump. See, what Don Winslow still does not understand is that legal Hispanic Americans can't stand illegals. Have never been able to. I point out this and say, why don't you go to South Texas? Why don't you see why South Texas, a largely Hispanic area, it's blood red. It's not because they're somehow seeing the error of their ways and they've turned Republican. It's like there's only one person dealing with the issues of South Texas. That's Donald Trump and this administration. Their primary issue is illegals. Their primary issue is the borders. It's the cartel action. It's the coyotes. And for a guy like Don Winslow, all he sees is, well, they're brown. Why aren't they on my side here? I'm the one talking. They're taking their people off the streets. Hispanic Americans back this stuff to a level that's higher than any other group. They back it more than white Americans do.
Absolutely. Because white Americans have been so beaten and battered that they have to virtue signal. They have to tell people a particular thing, or they have to feel a certain way. Now that's changing very slowly but surely. People are coming out of their shells and being able to say the way they really feel about things without the fear of cancel culture, but since that's kind of fallen by the wayside. But I told you, my best man at my wedding, Jason Perez, he got out of the Navy, started a trucking company. He is the most staunch supporter of a border wall, and he's also from Texas, also lives in Texas. He's the most staunch supporter of American security and sovereignty of anybody I know.
How about this from now? This is somebody on X, but it kind of surmises my point perfectly. At X Texas Girl X said, "Hey, Don Winslow, your pathetic fear-mongering post about hunting and kidnapping Latinos just blew up in your face, didn't it? Replies are flooded with actual Latinos cheering on Trump's crackdown because they're sick of criminals making them look bad, you clueless hack." Here's another one. "I'm Latino, and this is what I voted for. I worked my ass off, and I don't want to see criminals from every country in the world coming into my country, committing crimes, and making me look bad."
Who would? Who wants that? Give me somebody that actually wants that. I know the Democrat Party, but I mean actual people.
But poor dude in Don Winslow, just has always been the issue. He sees a group of people, and this was the mistake. We were laughing about it last week, how they were registering young black and Hispanic voters. It turns out they all voted for Trump, and they're like, what the hell did we just spend money doing?
We can't do this anymore.
They have long looked at somebody and said, there's the box. They must be voting for me. That's the issue here. This man can't see beyond what's just in front of his face. He can't think that maybe these people happen to think for themselves and are after their own best interests.
I think that's the ultimate slap in the face, is when you put someone in a box and say they must do this because they look like that. What a slap in the face to those people. Because you're saying, like you pointed out, they're saying they can't think for themselves. They need me to think for them. Like, what a punch right in the jaw, man. Who's going to line up for that? And I know a lot of people have for many years, but it seems like that is coming to an end quickly.
It truly is a self-fulfilling prophecy of a death cycle of a party. We told you this would happen if you continued to do this. Yet now that it's right in your face and it's happening, we just saw the numbers over the weekend, and I'm sure we'll get into this at some point too. You have now a voting deficit of 4.5 million Democrats in the last couple of years, where you have 2.4 more Republicans that have registered, while the Democrats have lost 2.1. So again, they're going down, we're going up. That's 4.5 million. Good luck. Good luck winning with that.
Quote, Trump was right. I brought this up earlier. John Kerry, he said that to the BBC. When it comes to migrants coming across to the border, just unfettered, unwavered, and certainly unvetted, our party got it wrong. If you would have asked me who was going to say that, John Kerry would have never come to mind.
How about this from a guy named Rudy? All Latinos who have papers and are legal voted for Donald Trump. And we're going to vote, he put hashtag Trump 2028. He says, because it's nonsense that those illegal idiots get a ton of benefits that none of us get.
Well, and can't afford. Can we talk about that part?
Yeah.
I mean, you see what's happening in Chicago. The mayor there is literally saying we're going to have to raise taxes an exponential amount to be able to cover everything. Because he's promised so much and used the people's money for people who aren't even supposed to be there. If I'm in Chicago, I'd be really pissed if I'm paying taxes and they're like, well, we used it on somebody else. We're going to have to charge you more to make sure we do the roads and water and stuff.
We thought it was a bit of an exaggeration. Turns out it wasn't. All that FEMA money that was supposed to be there to help out people in Hawaii and North Carolina and California, it went to illegals. It was siphoned off. It was sent other places under the guise of, well, New York's having a bigger emergency, so we've got to house them in the hotels. So we'll take that FEMA money. So when you have somebody like, this is another post that I thought was funny. This is to Don Winslow, the guy who's like, shouldn't we have a talk about Latinos for Trump? You are an effing clown. Any Latinos, my wife and family included, who came here legally love Trump's deportation policies. Now run along, Junior.
Yeah, move along.
That's the mentality. I can't believe how badly these people miss on this.
Brandon Johnson, he proposed a $300 million property tax hike because they've given everything away. The city council rejected it. Of course they did. Why in the world would you be in favor of that? And all because of people that don't belong there and that are siphoning off money, just like in the Social Security that we had earlier.
The comedy of all of this, and this is what happens with that crazy communist, that crazy liberal. They feel the need to tell a community how they're supposed to think or wonder why they think what they are. Like, I've got a comment right here. Who do you think is sitting here trying to comment on this? Old white dude.
Oh,
yet read all the comments and you'll go, wait a minute, why are there hundreds of Hispanic people, Latino people going, yeah, you're wrong, dude.
But Uncle Chip.
He knows.
Yeah, he's got it all.
He knows the experience.
Yeah, of course he does. When we continue on Xtra 106.3, JD Vance makes the discussion so simple that even a Democrat can understand it. Next on the Morning Xtra.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
Well, I guess it's pretty easy to hate Jeff Bezos, especially if you're into hating people more successful than you are, and maybe a good reason to say capitalism is terrible. Look what he's done to retail and shopping malls. Anyway, let me tell you something about Bezos. I didn't know, learned it over the weekend. When Bezos started Amazon, he was working at a table in a garage. Finally, he could pay himself a salary, $80,000 a year. And that was his salary up to and through his tenure as the CEO of Amazon. $80,000 a year. Never took more. Yeah, he's worth over $200 billion. Why is that? Because while he was drawing down a salary of $80,000 a year, he built a company that's worth, his share, $200 and some billion. But he left the money in the company to build the company and create very wealthy employees and retirees. Jeff Bezos has an idea. Heard it for the first time this weekend. Wholeheartedly endorse it. He says we're measuring wealth the wrong way. It's not how much money a person has. It's how much money other people have due to that person's hard work in building a company. Don't tell me the net worth of some corporate CEO. Tell me the net worth of the people he hired, the people who worked for him, the people that helped him build that wealth. There, I think, is the true worth of an entrepreneur, a business owner, a business starter. Not to what extent they became rich, but how many other people did they help become rich? Think about it. More on that later. Neil Bortz, Xtra 106.3. When I first started using a CPAP, getting supplies and equipment was a horrible hassle. It pretty much stayed that way until I discovered CPAPs, etc.com. Same-day shipping on anything you might need, including travel CPAPs, hoses, masks, you name it. Same-day shipping. CPAPsETC.com or visit their store in Alpharetta. So easy, and you could be preserving your health and saving your life.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. High-profile crimes and murders captured the attention of President Trump. That's why he sent in troops to help police in Washington, D.C. Congress serves as a super city council presiding over the capital city. D.C. has a mayor, but Muriel Bowser believes this is a slippery slope for the nation's capital. Crime in D.C. is actually down, but it's still a problem, and that's why congressional Republicans accuse the city's leadership of failure. They support the intervention of President Trump. D.C.'s non-voting delegate to Congress, Eleanor Holmes Norton calls this an historic assault on the city. She worries about the rights of those who live in Washington. The president can order the National Guard into the streets for a month, but Congress must vote to extend the stay. Crime victims applaud the federal takeover. That includes the mother of a congressional intern murdered in D.C. earlier this year. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer plans a hearing on D.C. next month with Bowser. Some Republicans want to strip the city of home rule. Bowser and Democrats say President Trump's move is why the city needs statehood. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 8 a.m. hour is brought to you by Central Heating and Air.
He could be sent to Uganda. Gianna Gelosi, Fox News. Kilmar Abrego Garcia has arrived at a Baltimore ICE facility. Immigration officials say they plan to deport him to Uganda after he rejected a plea deal to be sent to Costa Rica in exchange for pleading guilty to smuggling charges.
Family members and supporters are planning a prayer vigil and rally for Abrego Garcia, also outside of the offices here, including court-appointed special advocates, also known as CASA. In a statement, CASA's chief of organizing and leadership says, quote, Kilmar is being made an example of a martyr for having the courage to stand up to this administration's illegal deportation practices. They're throwing the entire federal apparatus at one father of three to prove that no one should dare challenge their authority. These torturous behaviors must end at once. Enough is enough, end quote. Abrego Garcia was released Friday from a Tennessee jail where he was being held on human smuggling charges. He was sent there back in June after being deported to El Salvador.
Now, that is Olivia Dance of Fox 45 Baltimore. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is eyeing Chicago as it looks to expand its effort to cut crime across the country. The city could get similar treatment to D.C., where 2,000 troops have been deployed.
The White House says there were 93 arrests in D.C., including 46 illegal aliens. In Maryland, next door, Governor Wes Moore has invited President Trump to visit Baltimore. Moore rejected the idea the guard is needed in his city with the second highest murder rate. President Trump has declined the invitation on Truth Social. Now, Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt says he welcomes federal support and more officers in the city of St. Louis, which, of course, has the highest murder rate in the country.
And that is Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Maryland Governor Wes Moore says the operations would be unsustainable from a financial standpoint, claiming a cost of $1 million per day. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Tired of all the negative media manipulation? Wake up feeling right with the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
This show is different than most in so many ways. But we're different than most in the fact that neither Los or I have ever had a cup of coffee. That's probably different than most people, because most people are enjoying a cup of coffee this morning. I know my wife, Laura, will be enjoying a cup of coffee.
Got one right now.
There you go.
My wife lives off 2 cups every day. The first one's just to wake up. The second one is functional.
So there was a study out of a university that said coffee makes you feel better. That physically makes you feel better. Apparently the gut health is affected by coffee in a good and a positive way, but the caffeine makes you feel better for at least 2 hours.
Good.
That's
Sounds
why people.
about right.
But you know what? You and I get it out of our Monster Energy drinks. I mean, it may not be as good for our gut as coffee, but I feel like we still get that little little kick.
That's how I get my B12.
That's right. Absolutely.
Give it to me.
That's right.
Give me that B12.
Come on. But for you, that's why you crave that cup of coffee. That's why you have to have that cup of coffee to get going. Because it's not only good for you, it's going to make you feel better. Put a little pep in your step.
And I don't have any issue with that addiction.
Not me either, man.
You have at it.
Yeah, go get it, man.
Is it going to kill you? Nah.
Now,
is it fun? Yeah.
If you put a whole bunch of stuff in there, though, I think that probably changes the dynamic. Like all the what is it? The
sugar and creamer
and all the creamers.
All the rest.
Yes. And, but then the calorie count goes through the roof. It's like drinking 15 Coca-Colas.
I just take mine black. I like it that way.
There you go.
My wife does, what's a creamer? It's like a coconut milk or something along those lines.
Laura does something very similar.
Yeah, it's just, again, she's happy.
Pumpkin spice is about to start invading everything. You'll see that all over.
Yes.
And that's
CSLs.
Yes, that's exactly right. I think somebody already announced that it was, maybe it might have already happened. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know if it's already happened.
It's late August. By September, no doubt, it'll be
without a doubt.
Dunkin', spiced coffee.
Yeah.
I would argue that's not even coffee. That's just like a sugar drink.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
I think so.
And I think that's the whole point, right? Is that most people that have it, it's not super high in calories. It's good for your gut health, and it gives you a little pep in your step. But then you start doctoring it up. I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. Clearly it does, but I'm not sure it does all the same things.
I have a good friend of mine. Every year for about 3 years, he would complain about how he'd put on weight in October.
Reckon why?
It's because he would jump all over the pumpkin beers. And then one year he's like, yeah, I'm not doing it again. He's like, because then I got to spend like at least a month or two getting that weight off that I put on from pumpkin beer.
Los, I figured it out.
It was like pump kick. It was good. Like I'd have one with him.
Oh, sure.
But then you would turn the bottle around. It said like 180, 190 calories. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. I can only imagine what the, like a Starbucks latte or something with all that stuff in there. Like, what does that calorie count look like? I bet it's probably like 800 or 1,000 calories. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's half of your daily need for calories.
I always have to do the math of, is it grande? Is it venti? Can't remember what size is what.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
All right, calories in pumpkin coffee vary significantly, ranging from as low as 2 calories for pumpkin flavored. That's just when they do that.
Yeah.
To 390 for a large traditional pumpkin spice latte. So that's like the pure sugar one.
Yeah. So still so that's a quarter.
So it's like your 400 calories worth
of your daily intake, or what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. So you can be careful with
It's just a lot to work off.
It is, man. Yeah, but maybe because we're not coffee drinkers to begin with, we don't understand the struggle of how delicious they are and how you must have them.
The addiction to pumpkin coffee.
Yeah, or to sugar. That's really what it is.
Have at it, ladies. Love it.
The addiction to sugar is what it is. Tug and Los until 10, 9 o'clock hour, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co.
By the way, 9 o'clock hour, I do have something to present to you guys.
Oh, wow. Like a gift?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. All right. Okay, good.
So for those of you who like sharing things, 9 o'clock hour.
Okay. It's a hour-long tease.
Is it ribs?
I wish it was.
God, why?
I did a reverse seared steak. I did a couple of...
What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
So,
reverse seared steak.
It's the best way.
The reverse seared steak, what you're basically doing is you're taking the steak, you're cooking it low and slow. You're taking it to about 120 degrees internally, which you would never serve it at 120 because you're well below even rare. But what happens is you remove that steak from the grill. You turn that thing up as hot as it can possibly get. If you can get near 500 degrees, awesome. You put that thing back on, and I like to serve it about 145. So I'm not quite medium yet. And by the time it comes off, it's got a perfect red ring on the inside.
Yes.
It is, in my opinion, it's as good as you can make a steak. Now, it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I think yesterday with what I had got over at Wilkes, love you, Wilkes, it was probably about an hour and 15 minutes to cook 2 steaks.
Oh, wow.
But they were 1.5 inch. I mean, they were legit.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Especially if you do a ribeye, something really fatty. It
2
makes it all,
ribeyes.
Oh,
gosh. Yeah. That's the thing that gets me when people are like, well, I don't like a ribeye. It's too fatty. I'm like, what's wrong with you? That's where all the flavor comes from.
I'm telling you, my old man, I told him, I was like, this is going to be the best steak you've ever had. And my stepmom told me, so he normally eats ketchup or A1 with his steak. I'm like, what? First off, are you 7? Like, do you really? Like, it's an insult. Like, what kind of steaks are you making?
Yeah, all right.
He didn't put one thing on this thing. He was just, and then he went back like twice to get more. I was like, there you go.
But that's the mark of a great steak. You don't need anything.
No, but take your time, reverse sear. That is my big suggestion. Always reverse sear steak if you can, especially if you like the cut of the meat. If you spend some money on the meat, take care of the meat.
Yes, that's right. Don't just
like, I'm just going to throw it on. I'm going to turn it up and let's throw it on here on each side 10 minutes.
I've told y'all many times, my mama is the wisest person I've ever met my whole life. Not well educated. She dropped out in 8th grade to work for the family and went back and got her a good enough diploma, tried some college, but she just worked her whole life. But one of the most brilliant people, the wisest people I've ever met in my whole life. Why do I bring this up? Because mama likes everything to taste like shoe leather.
No.
Oh no. If it comes out and it has a hint of pink, it will turn her stomach and she would just be, I just don't know if I can eat it. And I'm like, oh God, mama. Let me. And
I've had charcoal burgers.
Dude, I've asked, against my better judgment, I was like, hey, can you take this back and burn it?
Burn it. Can you?
And the people of the restaurant are always
send it to hell?
Yeah, the people of the restaurant are like, and I'm like, I'm not kidding. And they're like, really? Yep. Yes. Can you actually burn it?
Why even go to a restaurant?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mama, she likes everything burnt. Bacon, burnt. Everything. She likes everything burnt. I don't know how in the world I turned out to be I like rare. Like, I'm a rare guy.
Well, and that's the issue for me. It's when you heat it up later. If you've already sent it to hell, then it just gets more dry and more shoe leathery.
Dude,
jerky.
That's exactly that's what she likes, man. It's the nuttiest thing. It's the only thing that when Mama says, hey, I want it a particular way, I'm like, I just throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm like, I can't believe
So she takes everything probably like 165, 170 internally to turn it, to make it look that way.
When I say
mean.
shoe leather, I mean shoe leather. And then she'll tell about how good it is.
Now, are you resting those ribeyes when you pull them off too?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to tint it with a little butter on there, some of that natural Kerrygold.
I was going to say light tinting, just let it chill, let it sit for a little bit, and then they're ready to go.
Gosh, sounds so good. Well, I'm ready for lunch. I don't know about y'all. I know it's breakfast time for most people, but I'm ready for lunch for sure. Tug and Los until 10 on the Morning Extra. J.D. Vance was on the media tour this weekend, sat down in several places. But when he sits down, he explains things so even Democrats can understand it. It's so he could be a second grade school teacher. He has the patience. Surprisingly, he has the patience to lay it out for them, and he has the understanding of the concepts and the subject matter to make even Kristen Welker understand.
He laid it out. And again, I talk about this when it comes to J.D. Vance. One of the things I think he does really well, he's talking to you, but he's not talking to you. As much as he's talking with Kristen Welker and making the point about how easy this is to understand, he's talking to the American people to lay it out there. And this was from the Sunday shows yesterday. It's on NBC. Remember, having a conversation, very similarly, Tug might be talking to me, but he's talking to you all out there. This is what J.D. Vance excels at.
We had way fewer House seats than we should have. One, if the Democrats hadn't aggressively gerrymandered, and two, if illegal aliens weren't counted in the census for purposes of apportioning congressional seats. The best estimates I've seen is that in California, for example, has 5 additional congressional seats than it should have because they count illegal aliens for the purpose of apportioning representatives. Meanwhile, Ohio, my home state, lost a representative. We're literally losing representatives for American citizens in order to give congressional representation to illegal aliens. Republicans are trying to balance out the scales a little bit for basic fairness and for the integrity of our democracy, which the president cares about as much as anybody in the country.
So he just lays it out there. We're missing representation. We should have more. This should not be where these states that have a large amount of illegals should have more representation based on population. So I love how while she's being a little bit, antagonistic when it came to asking him questions about Ukraine and Russia and obviously asking about what's going on in these red states and redrawing districts, and he just flat out lays it out there. The American people, Again, he's talking, he's with Welker, he's talking to the American people, saying you're supposed to have more representation than you do. You're supposed to have more power, more influence, more say-so in Washington. That's who he's talking to. And that's what then makes people go, okay, yeah, census.
Makes sense.
I'd like to be better represented.
Yeah, and who wouldn't, unless you're in the business of making sure the Democrats maintain power and control. Anybody that's fair-minded that looks at this, when J.D. Vance lays it out, and it makes perfect sense, they go, like you're saying, yes, I'll take it. That's why the Democrats are so dead against it. That's why they are such on the war path. You got Gavin Newsom out there trying to prove that he's presidential, that he's worthy of the next step, the next cause. That dude can't fix homelessness in his state. What makes you think he can do anything on a national level? He has no chance. And I mean, he's their only hope, but he has no chance. And unless you care about Democrat power, then when J.D. Vance says that, you're of course agreeing with it.
As an example, think whatever you want to about the Freedom Caucus. There's members you can get behind. There are other members we'll say, I don't know. But remember, the Freedom Caucus single-handedly was able to get rid of a speaker. And now why you have Speaker Johnson is because of the Freedom Caucus. Now, the Freedom Caucus is only 2 or 3 members away from, okay, it does not have as much power as it needs to, or it could have. Now, what happens if they had 10 more members?
Things are very different.
Suddenly, your views of conservatism are much more represented. And you're not having to spend every election cycle going, well, what if we lose 2? Well, okay, suddenly we're now at 216. Now it doesn't matter. Okay, like that's what this really means. And that's what J.D. Vance laid out, is that you will be better represented by not having representatives assigned to communities where they have a large amount of illegals.
And you think, when you talk about places like California, you think, okay, we're going to lose a representative there. But when it's Texas and Florida and Missouri, there's Democrat representatives in those states that should not be. Those states will even be more red after they redistrict, and your values will be represented even more. So it's not just the red states, or the blue states. It's actually the red states too. The red states have a vested interest in representing you well.
And when you look at what is being proposed, like for instance, the map in Texas is done. Now, if you're telling me that Democrats are going to hold about 35%, 40% of the representation, probably about right. What happens when you're in Massachusetts and the Republicans hold 40% of the total voting block and have 0 representation?
Yeah, it's anybody that lives there that is a conservative, none of their interests are even addressed, and they're just fine with it.
Even though nearly half the state votes Republican, there are no representatives for them in the House.
And the Democrats are like,
we did it.
Thumbs up.
We got it done.
Right.
Everything's good over here.
And that's why they're so pissed, knowing that the Republicans, the new right, is actually playing the game the way that they play the game.
And they won't stop.
No,
and they keep pushing at them. I love it. It's like school bully in the yard. It's awesome. Everything I've ever wanted when I talk about like being abrasive and in your face and the new right, here's what we do. This is all you're getting from this group. And the Stephen Millers of the world and the J.D. Vances and the Marco Rubios have no problem telling you to your face what we're dealing with and what we're going to do to you.
But I'll go back to the same thing I said in the last segment. It's all right. It's correct. It's the way it should happen.
And we're going to aggressively make sure that illegals cannot come into this country. That's what they decided. We're going to aggressively make sure that crime in D.C. goes down immediately. Let me know where this doesn't poll well. Let me know where this doesn't come across well to average, everyday Americans that go, we have a problem here.
And it goes across all demographics, men and women, everybody. If you ask anybody, hey, do you want to live in a safe city? 0 of them are going to tell you no.
Hey, do you want more representation in Congress? Better representation?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sounds great.
And that's what they're going to do.
Should the family that lives down the street that are here illegally, should they be represented the same way that you are?
Absolutely not.
You're paying the taxes.
That's why, even back to kicking 275,000 people off of Social Security. The Democrats are whining and complaining. Remember, they told you nobody could be on Social Security.
There's no way.
And then now are mad that they're coming off the rolls. Well, I thought they weren't there to begin with.
Right.
It's so easy to pick apart. I don't know why it's taking this long.
It's
so easy to pick apart.
We have over 1 million illegals that have self-deported. that number continues to grow as you cut services off.
Would you have guessed that? Because I wouldn't have.
That would have self-deported?
Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed it.
I wouldn't have thought that. It's just the money and the threat. And that's where I think this is important. The growth of ICE and the amount of money that's going to be behind it. If you have to worry every day,
yeah, sure,
about I could possibly get caught up by ICE, where are they sending me? I don't know.
Uganda, Costa Rica, El Salvador.
You would think they'll just send
Sudan.
me. You would think they'll send me to my home country, or I just take the $1,000, $2,000 payout, and I get out on a flight with my family.
And if I do it legally,
I have a chance to come back.
I can come back if I want to be. If I truly want to be here, I can apply for citizenship or apply for a green card, apply for a visa. I can apply for all those things, and it will not be held against me. Because when Trump said we're going to turn CBP One, that app that the Democrats used to allow people to skip the line, to come in unfettered and unvetted, officially come through illegally. When Trump said we're going to turn that into CBP Home, I was like, who's going to do that? Boy, was I wrong.
Did it quick.
Yeah, it did. What do you say, over 1 million?
Fast. Over 1 million. 1.2 million is the estimate as of right now who's self-deported.
Like, I'll take the $5 to $2 grand.
I'll take the money,
it is.
And I'll get out of here, and I'll try and come back later.
And I'll avoid going to jail. I'll avoid all the problems that are happening. And it's the right thing. That's the biggest part. It's the right thing. It needed to happen. This is the Morning Extra on Extra 106.3. A Democrat plans to use the Contract for America as his guide back to power. Next on Extra.
Your favorite Extra shows are streaming live video from the studio on Extra 106.3's YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Extra YouTube channel and get the Morning Extra and the Kimmer Show in live digital video.
Hey, Kimmer here. I'm going to help you cut through all the nonsense when it comes to windows and siding, Peach State Windows, and so much more. The company you want, with owner Jeff Shea and his outstanding crews. I've known these people for 25 years, Jeff and his wife. They've been doing around here for 50. Here's the deal. Peach State was not built on marketing gimmicks and cookie cutter things from vendors who knows where they get their stuff. It's built on reputation of integrity and quality workmanship, plain and simple. Relationships with the top vendors mean they always offer you some kind of special deal with the best materials and the latest tech and a price that makes sense for your budget. They don't just throw random stuff at you. Each job customized to fit your home's look, age, function, whatever. Still get the best deals from those trusted vendors, and Peach State even offers financing options as low as, how about zero? And don't break the bank to get your home looking sharp either. Current offers and financing options right there for you at peachstatewindows.com. Skip the gimmicks, cut through the noise, go straight to the company who's been doing it for decades. Peach State Windows and so much more. The trusted name, peachstatewindows.com.
September is Fan Appreciation Month at Truist Park. Get ready as the Braves battle the Mariners and the Cubs September 5th through the 10th. Fans can enjoy 3 gate giveaways, including the Kids Beaded Necklace, a Michael Harris II scooter bobblehead presented by Xfinity, and the replica jersey presented by Coke. Plus, the popular Barbie ticket pack returns this season on September 9th. See all of the fun this September and get your tickets at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Military veterans are eager to transfer their skills and experiences to civilian life, but lack trusted connections to expedite their path to success. That is, until they meet the Warrior Alliance. The Warrior Alliance goes the extra mile to reach veterans in their communities so they do not have to take this journey alone. With over 40 partners across 10 service areas, your donation goes a long way toward achieving maximum impact for a veteran and their family. Go to thewarrioralliance.org to donate today and commit to helping the Warrior Alliance change thousands of lives for the better.
Looking for the perfect car, truck, or SUV? Jim Ellis Buick GMC has you covered. With a huge selection of new and used vehicles, finding the right fit is easy.
Whether it's a Buick Enclave or Envision, a GMC Acadia or Yukon, or the power of the Sierra and Canyon trucks, and the best part, you're never alone in the process.
Their expert sales team helps match you with the right vehicle, while their finance specialists make buying simple and stress-free.
With decades of experience, Jim Ellis Buick GMC understands the importance of offering an expansive inventory that fits every driving performance, style, and budget need. Plus, every new Buick and GMC comes with cutting-edge technology, premium comfort, and advanced safety features, so you can drive with confidence.
Already a Buick or GMC owner? Well, keep it running like new with their state-of-the-art service center staffed by factory-trained technicians who know your vehicle inside and out. Start your search at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or shop in person in Chamblee off Peachtree Boulevard, inside the perimeter, or in Beaufort off Highway 20 near 985. Jim Ellis, Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. A Georgia teenager accused of murdering her mother and stepfather was denied bond last week after an emotional hearing that left family members torn. 17-year-old Sarah Grace Patrick is accused of killing her mother, Kristen Brock, and her stepfather, James Brock, in their home back in February. Patrick's 5-year-old sister discovered their bodies shot to death. In the days following, Patrick allegedly went on TikTok to bring attention to the case, reaching out to true crime influencers. But last month, that story took a turn when Patrick turned herself in to the sheriff's office. At her bond hearing, supporters painted Patrick as a church-going girl with no prior criminal history, but her stepbrother claimed she would absolutely attempt to flee. Prosecutors ultimately decided she is a flight risk and could attempt to intimidate witnesses. Patrick is charged as an adult with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault. Her trial is set to begin in January. There's more on the story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines from Monday, August 25th. Troops from the Georgia National Guard could soon be deployed as part of a nationwide effort to support federal immigration enforcement. Up to 1,700 troops from multiple states may be called in to assist ICE. It's not clear yet how many Georgia troops would be involved or where they might be sent. Governor Kemp said he's actively communicating with the Trump administration on how to best support immigration work. A 16-year-old is facing multiple felonies after police say he called in a fake active shooter alert. The Newton County Sheriff's Office said the fake call was made to Alcovey High School on Friday. No weapons were found at the school. And a new manufacturing plant is opening in Georgia. Toto, the Japanese company best known for high-tech bathroom fixtures, opened its new factory in Morrow on Friday. The $224 million facility covers over 340,000 square feet. Production is expected to begin this fall. Today's weather, mostly sunny and dry today, no rain in sight with highs in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert. 770-GET-HEAT. CentralHeat.com is the website. There is a Democrat that has decided the Contract with America, which was a book by Newt Gingrich, which talked about reducing the size of government, cutting taxes, tort reform, welfare reform. It was a way to bridge the gap between everyday Americans and the Republican Party. And it was genius at the time. Anybody that looks at it and goes back and reads about it and studies it, Heritage Foundation has done a wonderful work on that, just how brilliant Newt Gingrich was by making that contract with America.
And it had been a long time since the Republicans had full control over the House. And so that was the importance of it is, you've given us this opportunity, now here's what we plan on delivering.
Here's a line from Heritage Foundation. Perhaps not since the start of the New Deal in 1932, to which many of the programs now under attack can trace their origins, has Congress moved with such speed on so many fronts, laying out the topics that I shared with you. There is a Democrat. He's a U.S. representative in Cincinnati named Gary Landman, and he wants to use Newt's Contract with America that Democrats made fun of. If you remember in the 90s, that was the way to go. Just make fun of Newt, make fun of Contract for America. Yeah, you're not going to win anything. And then, of course, that was exactly what they did. So he wants to use this as the roadmap for the Democrats to get back in power. The problem is the examples that Gary Landman from Ohio uses, the Democrats don't believe in. Listen to this list of things that he thinks they should prioritize.
I'm going to check off in my mind.
Yes. Prioritize public safety.
No.
Border security.
No.
Immigration reform.
Nope. Unless we're talking about amnesty.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. And then I'm not even sure that would be
they're all legal now. Right. That's immigration reform.
There you go. And then a strong national defense. Those are the 4 things he wants to focus, but in the way that Newt Gingrich focused on in the 90s with the Republicans. And when I read that, when he first said it, I was like, okay, he may be on to something. And then I started reading what he wanted to prioritize, and I said, there's zero chance of that. Socialists are never going. The Socialist Party, which is now taken over the Democrat Party, they're never going to cave to this. They're never going to agree to this. They're never going along with this because they don't agree with any of those issues. As I laid them out, you're like, nope, 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 and nope.
They have so many rules, and the first rule would be border security is racist. And what was the next one you had?
Border security.
Immigration
reform.
Racist.
Yep.
What's another one?
Strong national defense.
Well, not as racist.
Kind of.
But pretty much every single one of them that you mentioned is racist.
Public safety.
Racist.
That's definitely racist.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the pushback that they're giving in Washington, D.C. Though there have been 0 murders in the last 10 days now. They want no part of it. They're still rallying against it. They're horrified that meaning the Trump administration, may do it in Chicago. You have Brandon Johnson speaking out saying, we don't want this here. You have crazy lefty loonies saying, I'd rather have a broken arm and be carjacked than have Donald Trump's help.
It was funny. The first 24 hours, that previous Monday, when they rolled troops in, and initially it was, this is racist. You're going to a majority black community. Look what you're doing. It's racist. And then the black community went, man, this is actually great. The amount of videos that have been posted that have made its way and gone viral on social media of black Americans saying it's nice to leave my house and not have to worry about being robbed. It's nice to see this law enforcement on the street. I had one guy over the weekend I watched. He was like, I'm walking out here with my jewelry. He's like, I never would be out on the street with my jewelry. He's like, ever. He's like, because you're going to get somebody who's going to come try and get it. So now you can't use racist anymore. But that ends up being the problem. It's like, here's my contract with America. Here's the first 4 things I'd like to do. More than half your party's going to say they're all racist.
Oh, I think it's more than that.
Because they got all their rules.
3/4 will say it's racist. Even though the people suffering under the weight of crime, the weight of illegal immigration, the lack of border security until Donald Trump was put back into office, and then national security. I mean, maybe they go along with that just to say, we care about the country, which we know that's not the case at all. They would love to see the United States brought to its knees. AOC, I've used her quote a million times. She's thankful that the United States was in a position of just crumbling under the weight of itself. She said, then maybe something new might spring up. Of course, she's talking about socialism.
You ain't gonna like that.
Yeah, right. But when I first read this, I was like, this dude may be onto something. He could be.
Yeah, he's going to be onto being out of the party.
Yeah, exactly. But that's exactly, once you read it, you realize that he's done and over with. There's nobody going to go along with that. And yet, Newt Gingrich sits back and goes, I made the contract with America, and look what it did. It literally changed the 90s for the Republicans.
If you were ever able to sit down with Aunt Peg, and you said, Aunt Peg was opening the border to tens of thousands a day, hundreds of thousands a month, maybe as many as 10 million over 4 years. Was that wrong?
She would say, well, they were running from persecution. No, that's not wrong.
If they can't start with this was wrong. You know why she knows it was wrong? Because they're out of power.
That's right.
It's the only reason they think it's wrong.
Right, exactly. That's the only thing they respond to.
That's the only thing they respond to was, you can set up the scenario. Was this wrong? They'll never tell you no unless it has to do with power. It sucks they don't have power. Hey, was running Kamala Harris wrong? No, but you're out of power. Oh. Well, most Americans didn't vote.
Right, that's where all those voters that voted for Joe Biden, the 80 million plus that voted for Joe Biden, that's where they all went. They just didn't vote this time.
That's
right, because they didn't like her at all. I mean, you could bounce past it right back on that.
Yeah.
This is because she was not likable. And she couldn't run the country. She was.
And so what do you do for people that don't think any of the things that they did to the American people, to the American experience, to all the problems that we're currently dealing with right now? Another illegal truck driver, by the way, killed 2 people, another state. All these things that we deal with, they don't look at them as wrong. They look at it as, it's unfortunate that it cost us power this time around, but we'll set it up next time where it doesn't cost us power at all. They firmly believed that if they were to remove Donald Trump from the ballot and make him an insignificant figure in politics, that they were going to win into perpetuity. And then back of their minds, they also knew, hey, if we don't beat him with games, we're not going to beat him.
And I got to tell you, man, I think they cared even less about power, which is hard to say with the Democrats. They cared less about power in that moment and more about their hatred of him, because they didn't look at it from a 20,000-foot view to say, okay, how's this going to affect us? No, it was full steam ahead. We're going to get him. We hate him so much that we're going to get him. It doesn't matter what happens to us.
You know what? I would say this. Their hatred of Donald Trump eliminated smart politics.
Yeah.
Like there's smart politics and dumb politics. It's not all just politics. If you say something in front of the American people, like for instance, when Mike Pence, Tucker Carlson had him in that interview, and Mike Pence was like, well, that's not my problem. He started talking about all the issues. All right, that was the end of your political career. Over. That was dumb politics.
Yep.
Mamdani getting on a weight bench.
And not being able to bench press 135 pounds.
I don't care what he can bench or not. That was dumb politics.
No,
you got talked into something.
And you could tell he didn't want to do it.
And you are a weakling. Like, that's incredible. Somebody had to spot you at 135. Now, should that be like a reason why you elect somebody or don't? No, but it was I'm getting emotionally sucked into this. That's dumb politics. The Democrats ran dumb politics when it came to Donald Trump. They didn't ever see the big picture. Their hatred blinded them to, hey, could this come back and bite us? Oh, maybe. Maybe we shouldn't do it.
They never even.
There was never a consideration with him.
Never hit the radar.
Ever.
No, that's exactly right. And that's why Cincinnati, Ohio Democrat Gary Landman, he's dead in the water before he ever starts, because the Democrat Party will never go along with any of the priorities that he's laid out. It's never going to work. And I guess that's a good thing.
Well, there's going to have to be some centering at some point, right? I mean, if
it to work, yes, but they're not willing to do that.
I'll give you the example. And we started off by talking about the contract for America. The Republicans had not been in charge of the House until 1995. The previous time, 1949. Okay, so we're talking almost 40 years where they were always the minority in that chamber. Now suddenly they're the majority. Now they have the power. And it turns into, all right, what are we going to do with this? And they at some point had to alter their message from what they had for 40 years if they were going to ever get to this point. The Democrats are going to end up being stuck in a position, I believe, once we have a census and once we reach all districts. They might go 20 years before they're going to recognize we have to recenter our message. What Newt Gingrich did in that contract with America was, first time, nearly 40 years, this is what we're going to accomplish. We're going to lay it out here for you. Judge us on not just our intentions, but our results. Here's what we're doing. And so that was the intelligent end of it. I don't know when the Democrats will center their message, but it's going to have to be after years of losing in the way the Republicans did in the House.
That's exactly right. And then I'm not sure that they figure out why they're losing. They'll know that they've lost. They've got their tails kicked for 10, 20 years moving forward into the future. But I don't believe that they think the message is is wrong. They don't believe that their principles are wrong.
They don't believe that they believe that there is an error in how they're doling out the message.
Right. They think the message is the communication aspect of it, not the actual policy.
No, because the minute you start talking about, well, I want to control the means of production. Oops.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we joked around about it? When Kamala Harris started talking about being able to limit the profits of independent supermarkets, and we went, as the Washington Post was like, hey, that's really communist. You don't say that.
If they're calling you a communist, don't come out with communist ideas as your policy idea.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
You know, part of the reason why Barack Obama did have a difficult time the first time around is when he started saying, oh, I want to spread the wealth around. Everyone went, wait a minute, what communist?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah.
Immediately, you stay on prompter. You do not go in and do that anymore.
And then he talked with Joe the plumber and said, wow, you didn't build that. Everybody built that. You don't deserve all that.
It's another Elizabeth Warren thing.
Dude, just right off the cliff.
Yeah. So at some point, the message is going to have to center.
I think. Look, I'm not convinced.
If we end up in a position where there's plus 30, plus 40 seats in the House, and now that this country is so we're so politically charged that I don't think we're ever going to see any more of the days of, 30 or 40 seats flipped either way. I just don't think that's going to happen. Especially if we're talking like now the districts are redrawing every other place. It's going to be like, here's what you got, here's what I got. And maybe 4 or 5 in the Senate move, or maybe 10 or 12 move in the House. That's going to cause there to be a stagnation. But I don't believe we're going to get there right away until the Democrats start to center the message. Otherwise, I hope you stay way out there. I hope you keep calling men women.
They're going to.
I hope you play with all those games. Like, please do all of them. You will not be able to talk to middle America that ends up deciding elections.
Unless there's a third party that spins off from the Democrat Party. And I don't expect that would work, even if even look at Elon Musk was talking about a third party, and he's already
died.
Yeah, he's already died.
No chance.
No chance of it. So there's very little chance that a splinter party off the Democrat Party would survive either. And the Democrat Party is now a socialist party. So there's zero chance that they're going to center that. They're going to stay up because that's what socialists do. That's what they're talking about. They're going to continue this.
Someone will have to emerge that has some sort of rock star capability and has to take them back to the era of Bill Clinton. Now, it's going to be real hard. It's going to be incredibly difficult. In the same way, remember, Donald Trump made it a point within the first Republican National Convention. What's one of the first things he does? Hey, I'm adding LGBTQ to this platform. And some of the Republicans go, what do you mean you're doing that? It's like, yeah, I'm acknowledging. This is what we're doing. And it changed the Republican Party. It took the Republican Party in a different direction. It made it bigger tent, more mainstream, a little bit more in the middle. And that was important to winning an election. It's going to take the same thing, except when it comes to the Democrat, moving them away from their extremism. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a rock star to do it. I don't think they got one to do it.
It's going to take a Barack Obama, a guy that can really be charming. And maybe Mamdani has this too. He's very charming. The problem is, Obama wouldn't talk about policies, and Mamdani does. So that's I guess the difference. If you can get another Obama that doesn't talk about policy, just talks about how we're going to, give you hope and change.
They're so busy with these coastal elites. Can't be that. You got to get somebody, if you want to change things from the heartland of this country, and you go, like if Tim Walz wasn't allegedly kind of gay, and actually
Chinese, well, that
kind of seemed like a decent dude. I was like, you might be formidable. Instead, he's Minneapolis, Minnesota crazy, and he has jazz hands and does kicks and can't handle a shotgun. These are problems. But if there was ever somebody who emerged from that area of the country where you went, that's a rock star, that one would be dangerous. But as of right now, I don't worry one bit about Gavin Newsom or anybody else.
Me either. And the thing with Walz is that I believe he's a Chinese agent. That's what I believe. That's just my opinion about it. There's just
he has jazz hands.
Well, that and does the kicks.
Does the kicks.
It looks like he belongs on the Vikings cheerleader
squad. Oh man, that was their idea of what a manly man was.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna have to figure that one out too. Like rent some '80s movies. Come on,
dude. They don't care. That's the thing. They don't want to change their message. They don't want to change their image. They just want power to enforce it. So you have to accept it. When we continue on Extra 106.3, the left can't look or sound normal because they're not. Next on Extra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan and driven to Extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 25th. It's officially game week as week 1 of the college football season is now here. Georgia Tech, they'll be in Boulder Friday night to play the Colorado Buffaloes. As for Georgia, they will play Saturday as they host Marshall. The Atlanta Braves, they avoided a sweep at the hands of the New York Mets yesterday with a 4-3 victory at Truist Park. The team is now in Miami for a 3-game series with the Marlins. First pitch is set for 6:40. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. And Tommy Fleetwood won the Tour Championship at East Lake yesterday afternoon for his first PGA Tour win. Fleetwood finished 3 strokes ahead of the field and took home the $10 million prize. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Hi, I'm Chris Lalamia, owner of the Trusted Toolbox. Are home repairs piling up? Are you feeling overwhelmed? Relax. We've got you covered. From drywall dings and leaky faucets to deck repairs and trim replacement, we're your one-stop shop for everything for your home needs. No more juggling multiple contractors. Just call us at the Trusted Toolbox and we'll handle it. Your home deserves the best, and we don't want you breaking your back trying. Call the Trusted Toolbox today at 770-623-3097 or visit us at thetrustedtoolbox.com. The Trusted Toolbox, your one-stop shop for home repairs and more.
When you buy a Subaru from Subaru of Gwinnett, you're buying more than a vehicle. You're buying safety for your family and something that will last a long, long time. In other words, you're buying trust. For a limited time, you can celebrate amazing offers on the all-new Forester, Crosstrek, or Outback during the Subaru A Lot to Love event, now through September 2nd. And you'll love more than just your new Subaru. You'll love the dedicated staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. With some of the best service specials in the area and a team you know you can trust, you'll ride with peace of mind knowing that Subaru of Gwinnett has your back. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, you'll find the Subaru model you've always dreamed about at a price that makes that dream come true. But you need to get in by September 2nd to take advantage. We'll make it easy. Just start with a test drive, and before you know it, you'll be in the Subaru you love. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com, then stop by on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth. SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I'm looking for a reliable vehicle, something for the family, but also for my daughter who's going to be driving soon. Why should I call you?
The main thing is you get to see it's a full transparency sale. What I like to do is show you the whole gamut, show you everything that's out there and everything that's available. I can get any make, any year, any model.
Financing. If I need to use it, what can you offer?
We have some of the best banks available, and we got rates starting at 4.99 from a 23 model and above. It could be a 14 model. We still have banks that will do all the financing for you at good rates, and they're primary banks. If you have credit issues, we still have banks that can accommodate those issues as well.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
It's August 25th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is National Kiss and Makeup Day. Fights happen, we're all human, but we need to forgive and forget or say sorry and then make up. On this day in 2006, Hyperion, the world's tallest living tree, a redwood standing 379.1 feet, is discovered in the remote area of Redwood National and State Parks in California by naturalists Chris Atkins and Michael Taylor. It took 12 years, covering 4 billion miles, and Voyager 2 flies over cloud tops of Neptune and its moon Triton, sending back photographs of swamps in 1989. The Great Moon Hoax is published in the New York Sun in 1835, announcing the supposed discovery of life on the moon. Born on this day in 1968, celebrity chef Rachel Ray teaching us how to cook.
So I have 2 4-pound chickens here. That'll feed 6 to 8 people.
I'm CJ Papa. That's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Xtra 106.3 is live on your ride home with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder from 3 to 6 p.m.
Again, what a difference between Donald Trump 1 and Donald Trump 2. He has changed the world, the way people run an office. He goes public live for almost every day to say, here's our country, here's what we're doing, what do you think? Opens up to the media, and nothing's held back. He's a boss, he runs everything.
The Kimmer Show on Xtra 106.3 FM and the Xtra app.
Tug and Los until 10. On the Morning Xtra and Xtra 106.3, 8 o'clock hour brought to you by Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta Carrier Experts, 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. The Democrats, remember, was it Friday, Los, when you had that list of crazy words that the Democrat Party wasn't supposed to use anymore because they're trying to sound normal. They don't want to use, like, birthing person instead of mother.
Or dead
What do you mean by normal?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They're trying to hide their their lunacy in terms of the crazy words they come up with. So like BIPOC.
Yes.
Like you're not supposed to say that one anymore. There's a handful of those words they say to signal to one another that, like, for
We're on
instance,
the same team.
I'm housing challenged.
Yeah. What? You mean you're homeless?
I'm housing challenged.
Oh, you're camping.
I'm home averse.
Yeah, whatever.
Like, no. Homeless.
Yes.
That makes sense to people.
Right. Just speaking normally. So the Democrats, after that happened on Friday, they actually decided to tweet out, trying to look more normal. They tweet out, "We don't like the Cracker Barrel rebrand either." I was like, well, look at there. This is an attempt to not look as crazy as you normally are. The problem is, as we've discussed, it's not about the logo. It's about the crazy woke DEI stuff that has ruined the brand. And all the Democrats support all of that. Everything that crazy CEO supports, they support. So it doesn't matter. It's never about the logo. We've shared that with you a number of times. People always made it about the logo. Every news network was trying to make it about the logo when it was never about the logo.
Never the logo.
And so they are going to continue supporting woke DEI stuff that ruined that brand. They can't look normal because they aren't normal. And the craziest thing, this should have been the punch in the face. Steak and Shake, being very savvy on social media.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, they quote tweeted the Democrat tweet about not liking the new logo, and they went off about how they've destroyed a brand from within. And they're like, we as a company in America that of course we want our customers to come here and enjoy it, but we recognize great brands, and Cracker Barrel has always been a great brand. They laid out how it started, why it started, the history behind it, and their last thing, and this was like 2 paragraphs, the last thing they wrote was save Cracker Barrel. An opposing company recognizes what is being done to this legacy brand and was like, we hope it doesn't happen. Freaking Steak and Shake has more sense than the Democrat Party. That's the most appalling thing that they should see that and be embarrassed if they're voting Democrat.
The only real damage that was done, because again, it's not about the logo. It's never about the logo. In fact, quite honestly, you want to change the Cracker Barrel logo and make it a little bit more down home, a little bit more straight and clean? Okay, fine. I'm good with that. That doesn't matter to me. What matters is when you start going after your customer base and trying to act like you're too good for them, that somehow what they are is not what you want. That was the damning instance of Bud Light. It was we're trying to get away from the frat boy image. Well, the frat boy and the working guy is the one who picks up your 6-pack on the way home. And yeah, you got yourself a man who was pretending to be a lady man to go ahead and push the product. All right, that was a big miscalculation, because I don't know one frat guy, one working guy who's like, yeah, I want to be sold beer from a guy pretending to be a woman.
Mm-mm.
You know what you know what you needed? Boobs. Real boobs.
And they've learned that. And now look.
Told you.
They're back.
It only took me like 2 years for Sydney Sweeney to show up, and I was like, oh, Los apparently was right. Boobs do work. Yeah. They do. Boobs in comedy. Every single time. That was the problem with Cracker Barrel. It was you went after your customer base and tried to act like you were too good for your customer base.
Steak and Shake says in their tweet, Cracker Barrel's foolish move demand the resignation of the CEO and the board of leaders who hired her. Save Cracker Barrel. An opposing company is advocating for saving a brand that they compete with because they see the value of having good brands and good competition. And the ability to serve the American people. It was amazing to me that Steak and Shake got it and the Democrat Party didn't. Their quote, we think Cracker Barrel's rebrand sucks too. You don't get it. You don't get it. But this is nothing more than an appeal. They're trying to, just like getting rid of all the crazy words, they're trying to look normal, and they can't.
If I was to rebrand Cracker Barrel, like, would I change the logo? Yeah, probably. What would I do inside the store? I would probably make it look more like Modern Farmhouse. Now, again, like the ones who get a bad rap about this, like Chip and Joanna Gaines, because they turn everything into fixer-upper in a modern farmhouse.
Yeah.
But that look is popular. And I would then say, for our clientele, for our audience, we just wanted to modernize a little bit. We want to make sure it looks as good as it should for our clientele. We love you all. We love the support you've given us for the years. And we're hoping that this will also have some more people. Maybe you invite some friends and they go, wow, Cracker Barrel's changed a little bit. Instead, it was, yeah, we need to find all new people.
But that's the thing. It goes back to, it was nothing about even the restaurant. It was about the DEI craziness that was. They took their eye off the ball. Instead of focusing on good food, good service, they focused on how can we be DEI central. It happened with John Deere. It's happened with so many companies, and they've all failed. Every one of them.
You know who turned on that pretty quick was Harley Davidson.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, mistake.
Yes. Abort.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point.
Target did the same thing after now a couple of years.
The renovation you described wouldn't have ran off a single customer of Cracker Barrel. 0 people would have left because you reorganized or you changed the logo. It was all about what was happening under the hood that people didn't know about because it was all secret, but they could sense. They knew something was brewing, something was different. And it was all about, I hate you. The people that came in, we don't like any of you, and we want to rub it right in your face that we don't like you.
Just thinking about the crowd that they want. They want the 25-year-old girls that's like, where are we going for brunch? Let's do Cracker Barrel.
I just know when you mess up the way Cracker Barrel has messed up, just like Los brought up Harley Davidson and I brought up John Deere, guess what they did? They figured it out quickly and went the other way. And if they don't fire the CEO, that brand is destroyed forever. They can recover from this. All they have to do is say, we were wrong, and do it the right way. And then you save an iconic brand.
I'll handle it. It's not hard. It really isn't. These people turn this into something that's so much more difficult. If you get to know who your clients are, you get to know who your customers are, you'd be surprised like how well you can take care of them. I would think that this CEO would probably look at the clientele in there, like walk the store on a Sunday, go sit in a booth, go listen to people.
The problem is she would never eat at Cracker Barrel to begin with. That's the problem. She's not going to walk the floor because she would never go in there.
They have amazing breakfast.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If she had any idea of what Cracker Barrel was about, then she wouldn't be making these ignorant decisions. But the ignorant decisions make up who she is.
She looks at this. I have to assume this because this is the only thing that makes sense with the way she was talking about it. She looks at country living like there's something wrong with it.
Absolutely right.
I live in the country now. Country living's good.
I'm born and raised in the country. Let me tell you. Cracker Barrel exemplified it for many years. They don't anymore. Will they figure it out? I hope so. We'll see.
I got a possum that shows up in my backyard every now and then that my dog has to run off.
Well,
that's country.
Mama be feeding that thing.
I got a creek out back. Country.
Los is new to the country.
Got to call it a crick.
That's right, it's a crick.
That's Midwest, man. Ain't nobody in the South calls it a crick. At least I didn't grow up with that.
Not unless you bathe in it.
Yeah.
Which I am not opposed to if it's the right kind of looking crick.
Get a little more country, it could be a holler.
Yeah, see that. Now you're talking. Red states, thankfully, will not relent. Next on Xtra 106.3.
Time for the Bortz Report, exclusively on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station, Xtra 106.3.
Well, I guess it's pretty easy to hate Jeff Bezos, especially if you're into hating people more successful than you are, and maybe a good reason to say capitalism is terrible. Look what he's done to retail and shopping malls. Anyway, let me tell you something about Bezos. I didn't know, learned it over the weekend. When Bezos started Amazon, he was working at a table in a garage. Finally, he could pay himself a salary, $80,000 a year. And that was his salary up to and through his tenure as the CEO of Amazon. $80,000 a year. Never took more. Yeah, he's worth over $200 billion. Why is that? Because while he was drawing down a salary of $80,000 a year, he built a company that's worth, his share, $200 and some billion. But he left the money in the company to build the company and create very wealthy employees and retirees. Jeff Bezos has an idea. Heard it for the first time this weekend. Wholeheartedly endorse it. He says we're measuring wealth the wrong way. It's not how much money a person has. It's how much money other people have due to that person's hard work in building a company. Don't tell me the net worth of some corporate CEO. Tell me the net worth of the people he hired, the people who worked for him, the people that helped him build that wealth. There, I think, is the true worth of an entrepreneur, a business owner, a business starter. Not to what extent they became rich, but how many other people did they help become rich? Think about it. More on that later. Neil Bortz, Extra 106.3.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. The 9 a.m. hour is presented by Southern Exteriors. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Kilmer Abrego Garcia turning himself into ice and arrested. I'm Angelo Bavaro, Fox News. The case becoming a flashpoint in President Trump's immigration agenda after the Salvadorian migrant was mistakenly deported and then brought back to the U.S. and detained on human smuggling charges. Now he could be leaving the country once again.
He's been given a choice. If he pleads guilty to human smuggling charges, he'll be sent to Costa Rica. If he doesn't, it's Uganda. Abrego Garcia's attorney told NPR, I expect that ICE will take him into detention because, well, pretty much that's what they do. They have said they're going to try to deport him.
Fox's Doug Luzader. Maryland Governor Wes Moore pushing back as President Trump looks to expand his crime crackdown to more cities in addition to D.C. The Democrat inviting the president to his state for a public safety walk.
To President Trump, that stroll through Maryland meant a walk through Baltimore, and he did not like Governor Wes Moore's tone with that original invite. He wrote this, as president, I would much prefer that he clean up this crime disaster before I go for a walk there. Stop talking and get to work, Wes. Then I'll see you on the streets. Now, Governor Moore, he followed up with this.
The reason that I've asked the president to come and join us is because he seems to enjoy living in this blissful ignorance. These tropes and these 1980 scare tactics.
That's just as D.C.'s Democrat officials have done here, is to dispute the need for federal control of the police force, just like Governor Moore has been touting these falling crime rates in Baltimore after that pandemic spike.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff, a White House official confirming to Fox that President Trump is expected to sign an executive order today ending cashless bail by threatening to revoke federal funding for jurisdictions across the country. 19 people are dead, including 4 journalists, after an Israeli strike hit a southern Gaza main hospital on Monday. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Extra 106.3 and Fox are red. CNN and CBS are blue. If you want conservative news and talk, we have just the app for you. Search for the Extra app wherever you download apps.
Tug and Los until 10 on Extra 106.3, 404-741-1230, at Extra 106.3 across the social media platforms. Whether you're listening on the Extra 106.3 app, which we encourage, you're streaming us on the YouTube channel, good morning. 106.3 FM, 1230 AM, or at extra1063.com. So easy to listen, so easy to get involved. And we are grateful that you're here. That's the most important thing. Thank you for being here.
I have something for both you and Jure. You'll have to kind of figure it out. But before I get into that.
Yes.
So something we just watched on Morning Joe. I was just kind of glancing up at it, and now I've actually get a chance to read the full end of it. So you had Mike Allen. He's the co-founder of Axios.
Mm-hmm.
And he was making the point on MSNBC on Morning Joe. You know, I've spoken with MAGA people, and they are uncomfortable with this raid that the Trump administration did on Friday. And my first thought is, no, you didn't. No, you're not. 'Cause I'm not. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's freaking go.
Yeah.
This is great. You were never expecting this. Now, I'll tell you, politically, do you realize how much worse this would be if you didn't have any of these people having to deal with justice? Like, we'd be staring at the Trump administration going, Pam Bondi, Patel, Bongino, what are y'all doing? You know they're criminals here. You've been dropping all the information. DNI has been giving you all the information about what these people were up to. And we'd be like, where's the raid? Where's the arrest? Where are the bracelets?
What are you getting done? This is what we voted for. Clean this up.
And then on Friday, I was given what I was asking for. And so Mike Allen, again, Axios co-founder, so I spoke with MAGA people. The hell you did.
Well, you talk about straw man argument.
Or else you'd be real afraid. You'd be like, oh my God, they're actually pumped up by all this stuff.
Seriously.
Like, they're actually excited that we're going after criminals.
This dude, chief political correspondent for Politico. He worked for MSNBC. So that tells you where he's from. And know that it's been bought. Axios has been bought by the parent company of the AJC. So it's the same leftist drivel you get from both.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows this. I would probably tell Mike Allen, you know, when it comes to all of Trump's actions, all of us are concerned with them, and because we accidentally all voted for him.
Yeah, right.
And he's actually going completely against our wishes.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Wrong.
What kind of a journalist, I guess you'd call him a journalist, just makes stuff up? Because it seems like they do it on the left all the time. It's always a experts say. Who are the experts that you're telling me about? They never give you that. It's always experts say.
I've spoken to the experts.
And now it's I've spoken to MAGA, and they don't like it. They don't like John Bolton's home being
spoken
raided.
with MAGA people. Oh, okay.
The fact you call them MAGA people lets me know you've not spoken to anybody.
No. Actually, why don't you just get out there in the community and ask some regular Americans in D.C. what they think about law and order.
They would never, because they know what kind of answer they'll get. It's already been shown to them what kind of answer they'll get. And that is, people are delighted that they don't have to worry about getting robbed, getting mugged. Look at there. While they're walking to Costco to fill up the cart.
So this is the 5-pack that the wife got last week and then forgot to give it to me. So the question is, which one of y'all is going to get 2?
I'll do 2. I'll take 2.
We're splitting this up?
I'll yield to Jure and give Jure 3.
I had asked her, but I don't know. I don't think she was paying attention. She's not really paying attention a lot on these sort of things. But I'm like, hey, can you grab me this? So,
Jure,
yes.
you get 3. I'll take 2.
These are now, and I'm just going to open up this box of, these are the Puma Boxer Brief Performance.
These are the same underwears.
The sports luxury.
That Neil Bortz carried out the door.
And has endorsed.
And has absolutely endorsed. And it's so funny because I've shown Los this picture. I don't know if I've shown it to Jure, but look at him. He's tucked that thing under there with his iPad.
It's like it's a Heisman Trophy.
Dude, look at this.
He looks like the Heisman Trophy. He's like, I am going to hold on to this thing. I'm going to throw up hands, make sure nobody gets in my way here.
I asked him, I said, Neil Bortz, are these Puma underwear from Costco that Los has bought you? Is this an awkward gift? And he was like, no, it's a home run. It's the greatest gift. He was so thrilled. I thought for sure that it would be slightly awkward. Look at there. I've got the black and the navy blue. You'll get the rest, Ray.
What other colors are in the offering there?
I don't know, man. Can you tell?
Let's see.
What are the other colors, Los? Can you holler over here?
Got some grays.
Black, blue, and red. Did I see a red?
Special. Thank you.
Look at there. Dre feel of them. What do you think?
Now that's
That's
good
quality.
material.
That's quality H2O right there. Dude, you're going to look so sharp in those.
Oh, okay, I'll be sending pictures later on.
Yeah.
I would imagine that at some point today,
I'm not sending pictures, by the way.
you're going to throw them on and you're going to go, man,
Los is right.
this is the most comfortable pair of underwear I've ever
Need a
owned.
flap after all.
Yeah. Flap is way overrated.
It's like, why did I need a flap? And who didn't give these 5 stars?
I don't know, but I can't wait to run them down on the Costco website.
You know what you should do?
Stupid they are.
During the break, you should just run to the bathroom and then come back and just tell me how comfortable you are. Like, I'm so comfortable now. I was uncomfortable the whole show, and now I feel great.
I do like the name Sport Looks.
That's right.
The luxury underwear.
Oh, is that what called the
Sport Looks.
That's right.
So there you go. My wife finally.
Sports Stretch Tag Free.
Yeah.
Go.
I told my wife, I was like, hey, can you get another pack? I was like, can you get 2 packs? And just one showed up at the house. So I was like, that's fine.
I'm happy to split with Jeray, man. We're a team. That's what you do. That's what teams do. And yes, tomorrow.
And you know what's going to be really funny is that y'all are going to have underwear together from the same box.
That's right.
Y'all are united now in a way that's probably uncomfortable for
Almost
most
like
heterosexual men.
No, like Super Friends, I think.
Oh, like Super Friends.
So we can
Before I know it, one of y'all is going to buy a motorcycle and the other one's going to ride on the back.
Al is in Sandy Springs. Wants to talk about the underwear. All right, Al, what's up, man? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys ever found out from Neil Bortz whether or not it's true. He said on his radio show years ago he only wears his underwear one time and then he gets rid of them. I was just wondering if you guys had found out if that was true. And I also wanted to suggest that you change the name of the Bortz Report to the Bortz Briefs.
Oh, my gosh.
Well done, Al.
That is
First
nicely
off,
done.
He did tell us.
Yes,
he's reiterated that he doesn't want. Now, I find that hard to imagine, but he did say when they travel a lot that he packs light and that he will wear a pair of underwear and get rid of them.
Yeah, and go to Costco and buy more.
So, at least from the travel perspective, he's sticking to that. Now, I don't know about doing it at home, but that's what he says.
That's right. And because I brought up, when he said that, I brought up Jelly Roll, the country singer, hip-hop singer, whatever. He said the same thing about socks. He said the only thing that's changed in his life since being a struggling artist now to a worldwide phenomenon is that he only wears socks one time. He said it's the most amazing feeling to put on a new pair of socks every day. When I was a struggling artist, I was wearing dirty socks, holy socks all the time. He was like, no more. That is what I splurge on, socks. Dude, I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome.
New socks feel amazing.
They do. Absolutely right. And of all the things that you could splurge on, and I mean, this dude's got an addictive personality. He's overcome all kinds of things. He's getting his weight under control. He's like 400 pounds or something. And for that to be the thing that he embraces as the splurge in his life, credit to him, man. It could be anything. It could be all kinds of things. It could be detrimental things. And it's not. It's socks.
I don't think it would be like a sports car or any sort of vehicle for me. Like, if there was a splurge, it would probably be something like I don't know, maybe because I'm currently in the fear bunker, I'd probably really dress up the downstairs studio and make it look like great on camera with all that sort of stuff. But outside of that, I don't really have anything where I go like, oh, like I don't have a passion for like I like traveling, but I don't have like a passion to be like, oh, I've got to go see the pyramids in Egypt, or I've got to find a way to get to space, or I've got to have a Ferrari. Like none of those things really move it for me.
I would like to take, I guess my splurge would be, I would like to take my family, my son and my wife, to some of the places I went in the Navy. That would be the splurge, if I could.
Yeah.
And I can't, but if I could, that would be one of the cool things, whether it's it's Rome and Italy or Paris or even, man, we'll start down in Puerto Rico. We went there like 5 or 6 times. Amazing, so beautiful there, and you don't even need a passport. It's seems like it would be an easy way to go and just visit some of the places that I went.
I tried to buy a volleyball club.
What do you mean? I know you were talking about a facility, but
yeah, we'll see.
Is that still potentially in the works?
Working on it
as like an investor?
Yeah.
All right. What do you mean buy a volleyball club then?
Well, I mean, you have a portion of the ownership and everything.
Oh, so they have clubs. I see. Got it. So they got teams running out of there.
There's people looking for seed money and everything.
Got it. Look at you, man.
But I don't know. I mean, that would be a splurge.
Yeah, sure, but it'd be a cool one though.
I just want to have some ownership in something like that. That'd be kind of cool to me.
Well, but that's where passive income.
Yes.
Like the guy that does our taxes, he was like, man, y'all save better than anybody I've ever met. He was like, you need some passive income. He's like, you need an investment property. You need something like that to make real money. He was like, this, and he's done really, really well. But he never shames you into anything. He's like, here's what I would focus on. Here's what I think would put y'all in a great position to retire, on time and all that sort of stuff. And he was like, saving's not your problem. Passive income is.
I tell our guy all the time, he's like, when do you think you want to retire? I was like, I'm dead.
Yeah, exactly. But would you like to slow down at all?
Yes,
Yeah,
I would prefer, I think we got to go with, the plan of, there's certain guys that will only do certain programs. Like, for instance, a once-a-week weekend show. They do a Saturday or Sunday on a network. Like, that would be something as you got older that would be passable for. Okay, cool. Like, you fed, you scratch the itch. If you're going every day, that's a different level of preparation. And I still want to do every day for 20 years.
Oh, yeah, sure. We got plenty of time ahead, yeah.
I don't want to do it for 40.
No, me either, man. Yeah. Me either. Gosh, no. I like to work hard, and I never want to stop working, but I would like to slow down for sure. I'm with Los on that one. The Trump administration, though, slow down is not in their vocabulary. Trump knows. I mean, he's got 3.5 more years. He's got to get the things that he promised he would get done. He wants to be the first president, maybe in history, to ever do that. Here's what I'm going to take care of for you. Here's what you voted for, and here's me actually doing it. And he's working with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is such a good spokesperson for Donald Trump. He goes out on the Sunday shows, and he makes it so simple that anybody can understand. And then he explains why it's so important that red states are involved in this redistricting.
I loved hearing this because you always wonder what an administration, when they have the trial balloon, and then you see what happens. Like, this administration has been very quick. When they had floated out the idea of largely amnesty for farm workers, it got such a quick backlash that the very next day, they're like, no, there will be none of this. So you wonder, all right, Texas just did what they did as far as redistricting. Was it such a circus that no one else would do it? Because remember, Texas had to deal with their Democrats flying off to Illinois.
Again.
They're like, guys, y'all need to come back here. We've got some other business that needs to be taken care of. This redistricting is going to happen no matter what. Texas, at one point, when they were voting in their Senate, had to lock the doors to keep the Democrats from leaving and trying to nullify the vote. They had to lock the doors. Okay? So this is what you're dealing with. Some other states might say, I don't want to deal with it. But this is where J.D. Vance, on the Sunday shows yesterday, pointed out, this is the direction we're headed.
You have to ask yourself, why have Democrats gerrymandered their states aggressively over the past 10 to 20 years? If you look, for example, at the popular vote in a lot of these states, and Massachusetts, where 32% of the residents of Massachusetts voted for Republicans, 0 Republican federal representatives. So we're not trying to all we're doing, frankly, is trying to make the situation a little bit more fair on a national scale. The Democrats have gerrymandered their states really aggressively. We think there are opportunities to push back against that, and that's really all we're doing.
Perfect. Thank you. That's exactly what we need to hear. That this is not that was too hard and we took some backlash in Texas and now we're caving. Now we're caving. Yeah. No, they're not. They're going to keep pushing. They're going to keep going.
And there's representation in Florida that the Democrats have that they shouldn't. That's the thing. You think Florida's blood red. And there's still places that Democrats are getting representatives into the Congress that should not be there. And they're going to restrict that. They're going to redistrict that. So Florida gets the real representation that they deserve and they've not had. And that goes for a lot of states and a lot of people across the country that should have representation in Congress that do not.
I just believe that what happened for the first 2 years of the Joe Biden administration, and then everything from the pardon game and all of the crazy stuff when they were doing their executive orders to open up the border and to halt as much fuel exploration as possible. on federal lands. All of that set the tone for the Republicans aren't going to stop. Like, they saw what this group would do, and there is no sign that there's another Democrat coming down the pike that is wildly different from what was just in office. That there isn't. That it's all cut from the Barack Obama.
Same guy.
Yeah, it's all cut from the Barack Obama cloth, and then by the time it's Joe Biden, now it's unfettered aggression in this way. The Republicans got a good look at it. And they're like, they never stopped. They never worked. They had zero interest in doing anything that we would consider compromise. So what do? You make sure that they stay out of power. And do it by doing the exact same thing that they already did.
They've given you the playbook.
They gave you the playbook. All you're doing is you're doing their playbook back to them.
And they hate it.
Yeah.
They despise it. They can't believe it. They cannot believe it. For 50 years we've been doing this, the Democrats say. And never once did the Republicans ever push back. All of a sudden, they're pushing back. This is awful.
And then you get the ridiculous, like Chuck Todd, formerly of NBC. Chuck Todd, likes to tweet out different stuff. And one of them was, and this had to do with the raid on John Bolton's house, but it might as well apply to this as well. He's like, two wrongs don't make a right.
Of course.
Yeah, but here's the problem. You punched us in the face, and then by the time that we loaded up to get you back, you suddenly started screaming for help and that you didn't want to fight anymore.
And the other thing about what Chuck Todd said is, if there's nothing wrong, let it play out. You're good to go. Yeah. He'll be cleared.
Totally be fine.
He's going to be just
fine. Have at it.
That's right. And they know that it's not just fine. They all know John Bolton has been doing things that he shouldn't be doing, never reported on it. Now they see it happen. They're like, oh my gosh, how do we present this as something that it's not?
And now that you redistrict, they like to call it gerrymander.
Yes.
But now that you're doing the exact same playbook, now it's something, two wrongs. I mean, what we're doing was wrong. You shouldn't do it either. It doesn't make it right. Yeah, but it makes it more competitive. And you ain't going to like how this is going to play out. You're going to lose here.
Because you've been able to cheat for 40, 50 years. And nobody did anything. Now that they are, get ready. Buckle up. It's your turn. Without your tax dollars to prop them up, the Democrats are broke. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co.
Neil Bortz is only live on Extra 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the Extra 106.3 app.
Like, people are getting facelifts all of a sudden. That's because of Ozempic, believe it or not. It's Ozempic face is what's happening. There's like a new facelift craze across the country because so many people are having droopy skin. Nobody wants that, so they got to get it fixed. Well, your house could use a facelift, I bet. I know ours could. When we started replacing windows, replacing doors, our house looked completely different. It looked like the envy of the neighborhood. And now we've seen houses around us making similar changes. Now, I hope those folks were smart enough to call Southern Exteriors. And if they weren't, too bad for them. I hope you are. Let me give you the number, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. They can do those windows. They can do doors. They can do siding, roofing, gutters, millwork. They can fix it or they can replace it. Talking about the roof, the gutters, the siding. Those windows, man, with this weather, wouldn't you like to be able to open the windows and have some of that fresh air come in? When's the last time you could do that? Or were you ever able to do that? Only you can answer that question, but you know how you can get it fixed. Because I just told you, Southern Exteriors, 8779 Southern, southernexteriors.co. They'll give you 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing.
Thinking about going electric? Now's the time to make your move. At Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs, limited time incentives on select Ford EVs are available now, but only through September 30th, 2025.
That means if you've had your eye on an electric vehicle, this could be your last chance to save thousands of dollars. Whether it's the all-electric F-150 Lightning, the head-turning Mustang Mach-E, or something in between, now's the time to plug in and move forward.
Jim Ellis Ford Sandy Springs makes the switch easy with expert guidance, flexible financing, and a friendly team ready to help you every step of the way.
Don't wait. Visit them just 4 miles north of 285 on Roswell Road or head to JimEllisFord.com to learn more. But hurry, these savings disappear after September 30th.
Jim Ellis Ford, Sandy Springs, where you can always expect the best.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
It's Fox Wheels.
Volkswagen is accused of trying to pull a fast one to get EV owners to pay more in a monthly or yearly subscription or a lifetime fee for extra horsepower on its ID3 small EV in Europe. This after previous attempts to squeeze auto customers through subscriptions have caused major criticism, like when BMW attempted and then abandoned its subscription fee for seat heating, Apple CarPlay, and other features. Mercedes-Benz offers the option to subscribe to extra horsepower. GM offers subscriptions for features like its Super Cruise hands-free driving. Toyota requires a monthly or annual fee for its Remote Connect service. And Ford requires a subscription fee to unlock its Blue Cruise hand-free driving system. All as automakers look to create new revenue streams while trying to balance owner and brand trust. That's Fox Wheels. I'm Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The stories that matter to you. These are your Georgia headlines.
Here are your Georgia headlines for Monday, August 25th. Troops from the Georgia National Guard could soon be deployed as part of a nationwide effort to support federal immigration enforcement. Up to 1,700 troops from multiple states may be called in to assist ICE. It's not clear yet how many Georgia troops would be involved or where they might be sent. Governor Kemp said he's actively communicating with the Trump administration on how to best support immigration work. A 16-year-old is facing multiple felonies after police say he called in a fake active shooter alert. The Newton County Sheriff's Office said the fake call was made to Alcovey High School on Friday. No weapons were found at the school. And a new manufacturing plant is opening in Georgia. Toto, the Japanese company best known for high-tech bathroom fixtures, opened its new factory in Morrow on Friday. The $224 million facility covers over 340,000 square feet. Production is expected to begin this fall. Today's weather, mostly sunny and dry today, no rain in sight with highs in the mid-80s. With your headlines, I'm Jerry Payne for Extra 106.3.
Tug and Los until 10. 9 o'clock hour brought to you by Southern Exteriors, your home exterior solution since 1999. 8779 southernexteriors.co. Los and I were just talking about, did I take in another Spider-Man movie? And I haven't yet, but this week we will get it done. Well, I finished up Happy Gilmore. That took another...
was last Friday.
I know.
Thursday. You told me about it on Friday.
Right, but then...
You lied to me.
No, I did not. I would never do that. I would never lie to you. So we had concert Friday night, dinner Saturday night, and then Jacob was home, so we were balancing out a little bit. So I didn't, except for watching the football game from Ireland, Iowa State and Kansas State. That's literally the only time I turned on the TV the whole weekend.
Well, there's tonight.
Yes, that's all right. I do have tonight.
You have tonight.
And I have a wife that's under the weather a little bit. So
there you go. That's perfect.
Yes.
Just be like, listen, it's time for Far From Home.
Is that the next one after Homecoming?
Okay, you saw Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home.
Yes. Yeah. And it was funny. Somebody asked me this weekend, had I seen the new Superman, and I was able to give them the review. I was like, well, I tell you, you can watch it, but it's about a D+. And they watched it anyway, and they're like, you're right, this was terrible. So I feel like I'm, directing people's interests all of a sudden.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Like
I've never done that before in my life, giving a review to anybody.
There's going to be coming out in like 3 or 4 days. The Marvel movie I didn't see that apparently got really highly rated was Thunderbolts.
I've never even heard of that one.
So that's the one that was in the theater that it didn't do great, but the ratings of it were really great.
Okay.
Like it's
So it's
pretty
people
good,
just
pretty funny.
missed out.
Yeah. And so there is some Marvel fatigue, in my opinion, that's out there.
And see, I don't face any of that because I wasn't.
You never went through the whole process.
And so I don't have any fatigue anyway. There was a little bit in that Spider-Man Homecoming. There was Zendaya's character that was always talking about some sort of left-wing politics. It was just in there quick and gone, but it was just like, oh my God.
Okay, you're going to get some more, like that character becomes more and more fun as she's...
Oh, good, because she wasn't.
Well, it's kind of the point. She's supposed to be like that kid who, that's the rebellious kid in her. Mm-hmm. Everything is a conspiracy theory and,
everything's left-wing politics.
Right.
Yeah, I was just like, I could have done without all that. But, yeah, so hopefully the next one will be just as good as the Homecoming. What do you have any movies that you're like F1, any of those that stand out that you care about at all?
No.
Me either, really.
I've been on my documentary kick.
Yeah.
I've been almost through all of Unsolved Mysteries on
the whole season?
Netflix. There's like 4 or 5 of them, but they're only like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
So I put one in and they're all the same.
Yeah.
There's no resolution.
Yeah, right.
It's just this person disappeared and they either found the body or they didn't and they don't know what happened to them.
And then they have creepy music.
Right.
Dude, it's so iconic. That music is so iconic. It's like it's up there with Jaws. That kind of iconic.
One of the most interesting ones that they had was there's a paranormal investigator and he has a paranormal sidekick. It's a woman who talks to him. And there's other people that have been in the industry that are like, no, it's real. And as you get to the end, it's like she is actually now, for lack of a better term, like she's haunting him.
Oh, wow.
Like she's now kind of taken over what's going on in their situation. And he's just kind of fine with it.
Dude, I remember being young, hearing this music, and it would freak me out.
It meant Scary's about to start.
Robert Stack with that iconic voice.
Yeah, and the trench coat thing going on.
When they do the Roswell crash, they use the video and Robert Stack footage from 1989 because as they tell the story, that was the first time the American public had ever had a TV show talk about the Roswell crash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were breaking out.
And it'd been 30 years.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I just remember being scared to death, but I couldn't look away. I would sit and fear watch.
Yeah, same way.
Just be freaked out, music going, and you're like, oh my God, I need to. And you'd be like, I don't even want to watch this. And you'd turn away from it, and your head would never move you like an owl.
That's how I learned about D.B. Cooper.
Yeah, right.
D.B. Cooper. It's like he jumped out of the plane.
Out of the airplane.
It's amazing. Now, the only one that really creeped me out, to this day, I'll always remember, and anyone who saw it would remember, there was an arsonist who would set a place on fire and videotape it, and then in the background would be commenting in this really like crazy devilish voice. They ended up catching the dude, which was like the good resolution. You found out this wasn't some demon or someone's like, this was an idiot kid.
Yeah, which is what it is a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like when it's, we talked about this before, when it's a serial killer or when it's, your mind has it as this horrible demon, and it's usually just a random dude.
Like
which makes it scarier, to be honest.
If you ever want to search an image, like look up Gary Ridgway and tell me if that dude has horns and a tail.
Yeah.
Like Gary Ridgway was the Green River Killer. It could be as many as like 75 or 80. I think they got him for like 45 of them. And there is nothing about his life is extraordinary or anything about him that looks so menacing.
Yeah.
Just who he is.
But that's the menacing part, I think. That's the part that I can't get by because I need
next door.
I need it to be the dude with the horns. I need it to be the devil tail.
It's got to be some crazy person.
That way I can identify it.
Yeah, it makes it easier for you if it looks like that. What was that one guy who was all methed out? We saw the picture.
Oh, yes.
Like it's supposed to look like somebody from The Walking Dead. And when it doesn't, when it looks like your general high school science teacher, kind of freaks you out a little bit more.
I think this guy works at Home Depot. I saw him last week.
See, that's the thing. Scares the death.
That's what it's supposed. That's why it freaks you out so much.
Sold me a toilet repair kit.
That's why I think it's a fascinating aspect of criminal investigation when the guy looks like he should be selling you a toilet kit, and yet he goes out and kills like 50 people over a span of like a decade.
Good Lord.
Like that's his passion. It's not American standard.
Dude, it's so weird, so sad, and that's what makes you nervous when you're walking down the street in downtown.
There was one of them on Unsolved Mysteries where it actually featured Cumming, Georgia.
Really?
And it was a woman who went missing. Yeah, I was watching that one, and the entire time I'm like, I know where that is.
Oh,
I know where that
wow.
is. I know where that is.
It was an old one though?
No, it's from the most recent new ones.
Got it.
And so that was one of them that it went into, and it had happened back in 2004. So I hadn't even lived over there at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't get up to Forsyth County until like 05, 06.
Yeah. Oh my heavens, dude. They're the creepiest of the creeps, the worst of the worst, and they turn out to just look like Dre said, the guy at Home Depot.
So like I said, you better watch Spider-Man: Far From Home. It'll make you feel better.
Yeah, keep your mind off.
Otherwise, I'm going to send you over to be like, here, watch this one.
Ah! My wife wouldn't watch it. She would be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Because it would creep her out too bad. The Democrat Party, unfortunately for them, they are broke. You ever seen that little, it was like a little that video that somebody shared on social media. It was a kid. They were doing the homework. And they said, Jamal has a quarter, when they do the math problem. And the little boy's like, Jamal's broke. And it was just funny, and I don't do it any justice, but that's what I can always flash back to. Anytime I hear somebody's broke, I hear that little kid, and he just laughs. It's so funny. What's not funny is the Democrat Party, at least for them, they are broke, completely broke.
Daddy Trump and Daddy Elon Musk, they took away the Democrats' lunch money. What it really comes down to, this was always what looks like a money laundering program through USAID to fund Democrat pursuits in Democrat elections. Because now that USAID is over with, we have never seen a lack of fundraising on the Democrat scale at this number.
Dude.
So if you just want to know, cash on hand in August, all right? Here's what the Republican National Convention has. $84.3 million. That's just cash on hand, ready to go, whatever you want to do. The Democrats are at $13 million. $13.9 million. How do the Republicans manage to have $70 million more dollars when every Republican campaign is hallmarked by they never have as much money as the Democrats? I mean, consider you had Kamala Harris with $2 billion in the war chest, yet she still lost the popular vote. Donald Trump, I think, was like at $400 million. Like, think about the ad spends that we saw during that time period where it was Kamala all the freaking time.
Problem was, when people saw Kamala, they reflected to what they had most recently heard her say, and it was always something that made no sense. It was always some gibberish. It was always some word salad. So it didn't matter how much you promoted her. The fact that everybody thought of the last crazy thing they said or she said rather than what the ad was telling them to believe. They already had an idea of who she was. There's no way. It didn't matter. You could have spent $1 bazillion. It's not even a term. And you still wouldn't have won with Kamala Harris. She had nothing that people could connect to, nothing that people could relate to.
If you just want to tell me about the fundraising numbers for like Donald J. Trump, President 2024, he raised about $450 million. Kamala Harris had $2 billion. $2 billion that was spent. The Democrat Party with USAID now being over, they're going to be running on credit.
Dude.
Jay broke.
That's it. That's it, dude. I was just searching for it. That's one of my favorite skits that parents trying to...
Love his laugh.
Dude, it's genius. Can you, for the end of the segment, we play the whole thing because it's only about 90
it's
seconds.
only 10 seconds. I mean, it's real quick.
And you can make the argument if you choose to. All right, this either comes down to USAID is gone, they can't make money, or their policies are so bad they can't make money.
It's both. I think it's actually both. They can't make money because who's going to give money to people that can't tell you what a woman is? They can't defend women They're the great defenders of feminism. They can't defend women because they can tell you what a woman is.
Oh, if we get Act Blue too, good luck.
Dude, well, that's the next, though. That's the next target. There's no doubt in my mind that they are going after Act Blue. And let me tell you, I bet if my gut is right, there will be some inaccuracies in accounting with that organization. So, yes, if they go that, what number did you say they have? 13 million?
13.9 million.
It'll be less than that once Act Blue's out of the way. It'll be way less than that. It might. There's no telling what it will do to the Democrat Party. They won't be able to raise whatsoever because that's just been another one of those. Because you remember BLM? Remember at the height of BLM?
Where they stole all their money?
You want that too? Yes.
Corporate sponsorships. I mean, that was
But
so
do you remember
much money.
when you clicked on the link to give to BLM? It went right to Act Blue. It didn't go to BLM. It went to Act Blue. And then they filtered the money out to whoever they wanted to.
You not seen any BLM food banks?
And they stole it.
Any parks?
Mm-mm.
And there was some BLM mansions out there.
Yeah, exactly.
They stole your money.
That's right. And they're laughing in your face as they
They're
do
like,
it.
we got them.
Yeah, they did. And they did. And they did. Dude, you be mad if you want to.
That's what they did. They stole your money.
Exactly what they did. And will continue. The Democrat Party will continue. They will continue funding stuff just like that goes right in the face of anything that you believe in and anything that you support. It's really remarkable. I mean, and now you got, MSNBC freaking out over people like John Bolton getting wrapped up. They're so angry that the chickens have come home to roost. Mama used to say, what comes around goes around.
That's what's happening.
It's exactly what's happening. But the key that you cannot miss is it's all justified. Every bit of it is justified.
They really enjoyed taking all the swings at us. And I gave you the rundown. Trump and January 6th are the easy ones. Why'd you go after the Catholic Church? Why'd you go after parents that showed up over at school boards? Why did you go after journalists that questioned the vaccine? Why did you use social media companies to go after people that were going against narratives that Joe Biden didn't care for? You turned the entire government apparatus against us at all different levels. And now that we are looking at people that have actually committed crimes and saying, it's your turn.
Now
and
they melt down.
Suddenly, oh my God, I can't believe y'all are doing this.
You had Abby Phillips, we played it earlier, won't play it again, but just know Abby Phillips from CNN, she was like, I've seen no evidence of lawfare. And Los just laid out a small portion of the lawfare that everybody knows happened.
That's not even talking about the multitude of states going after Donald Trump.
How bold do you have to be to sit on national television, I guess with a very, very small audience, but still national television, and just lie, knowing that you've seen all the evidence and you've seen it all play out?
I haven't even touched on pro-choice demonstrators or pro-life demonstrators.
That's exactly right.
Whew.
They go after them like nobody's business and arrest them for praying 500 yards away from an abortion clinic.
You're praying too close.
That's right.
You got to go.
Unbelievable is what it is. And completely believable at the exact same time. But good for
Jaden has $1 bill, 1 quarter, and 2 pennies. How much money does he have? Jaden broke.
Dude, the laugh.
That's what you get.
Dude, the laugh is pure angelic. It is unbelievable. That laugh is so good. That's one of my favorite. If you have a favorite thing that shows up on the internet, that's my favorite, without a doubt. That kid's laugh is perfect. When we continue, socialists and communists love Mamdani's show of strength this weekend. Next on Xtra.
The latest sports news, powered by 680 The Fan, and driven to extra listeners by RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs, Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964.
Good morning. Here are your sports headlines for Monday, August 25th. It's officially game week, as week 1 of the college football season is now here. Georgia Tech, they'll be in Boulder Friday night to play the Colorado Buffaloes. As for Georgia, they will play Saturday as they host Marshall. The Atlanta Braves, they avoided a sweep at the hands of the New York Mets yesterday with a 4-3 victory at Truist Park. The team is now in Miami for a 3-game series with the Marlins. First pitch is set for 6:40. You can hear that game live on our sister station's brand new app, 680 The Fan. And Tommy Fleetwood won the Tour Championship at East Lake yesterday afternoon for his first PGA Tour win. Fleetwood finished 3 strokes ahead of the field and took home the $10 million prize. With your sports headlines, I'm Carlos Medina.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
You should never need financing for a simple garage door repair, but it's happening here. Out-of-town companies have invaded Atlanta for a cash grab, charging outrageous prices. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Stay local and stay on budget for every opening of your home. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
September is Fan Appreciation Month at Truist Park. The fun begins as the Seattle Mariners come to town, September 5th through the 7th. The weekend includes live music before the game, as well as Grunge Night and Flannel Fest, all on Friday the 5th. Come dressed in your best 90s or grunge gear, and you may win free tickets to another game. To round out the weekend on Sunday the 7th, the first 3,000 kids will receive a beaded necklace, just like you see the players repping on the field.
Swung on, hit high and deep to left field. And that is gone! Home run! Braves lead!
Then, Dansby Swanson and the Cubs roll into town. September 8th through the 10th, presented by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety. Fans can enjoy 2 gate giveaways, including the Michael Harris II scooter bobblehead, presented by Xfinity, followed by the replica jersey giveaway, presented by Coke. See all of the fun this September and get your tickets at Braves.com/promos. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
Hey, it's Los. We're here with Tom Mitchell, the honest car guy. Tom, I've learned a lot about this car buying process from you. Is that typical of most of the clients you've worked with?
Yeah, I'm finding out it's even more typical. I mean, people are learning more and more, and maybe it's because I overload them with information because I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to make sure you know everything.
Do I have to have a particular make and model in mind when I call you, or is it just open to anything I want?
It's open. I can get any make, any year, any model.
I might be looking to trade in my vehicle. Can you accommodate that as the honest car guy?
For sure. I mean, we love it when people want to trade in cars because honestly, it's best for you to trade in a car. Why? Because you get a tax savings.
Friends, if you're in the market for a pre-owned car, truck, or SUV, get an honest car buy from the honest car guy. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee, and we back that up by giving you the bill of sale. That's our transparency guarantee. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME, the number 1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
I want to share something with you that is so important for the people of Israel. The Bible teaches us that in a world full of broken promises, one covenant remains unshakable, and that's God's eternal promise, his unwavering commitment to Israel and his beloved people. Israel is being attacked now not only with missiles, but by bad actors who are sympathizing with Israel's adversaries. The world truly has gone mad and evil persists. Now, more than ever, God is calling Christians everywhere to support Israel, to be a living testimony that his promises endure forever. I've chosen to partner with the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews as one way to align myself with God's eternal plan, and for over 40 years, this wonderful ministry has faithfully provided nutritious food, care, and critical life-saving aid to Israel's most vulnerable, the poor, the elderly, many of whom are Holocaust survivors. So join me in standing for Israel and declaring God's faithfulness to all generations. To learn more and find out how you can help, visit ifcj.org. That's ifcj.org.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Xtra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest latest on our live events, and so much more. Follow at Xtra1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Strength comes in all sorts of forms. Yeah, maybe it's mental strength, maybe it's emotional strength, or maybe it's just physical strength.
Check, check, and check. Man,
you got them all.
It's awesome.
I love that. And I'm sure there's even more. I've just started working, like the last 6 months, I've just started working out, and I can tell the difference in myself just a little bit.
I saw you pick up that refrigerator outside.
Yeah, let me go. But I've even noticed it even in my face just a little bit. Just that it's just not as full as it was.
That's funny.
It's the truth, man. I told my wife that this weekend. I was like, I think I can tell a little bit of a difference, the slightest bit of difference.
You know, this is the only problem with me working with you every day. Because when you're around somebody every day, you don't notice. It's not until you see a picture. Like, we've got some good friends of ours, and both her and her husband have really been dedicated to dropping some weight. Mm-hmm. And it took not seeing them for like 3 months. Talking to them all the time, not seeing them for 3 months, and suddenly go like, whoa.
Dude,
because when I saw them every day, I never noticed.
That's exactly right. So I've been putting in the effort, been putting in the work, and Los has been doing this for years. I'm just trying to catch up. But I got to tell you, if I were put on the spot, I would like to think that I would not back down. I would not be scared to at least try to attempt on Men's Day in Brooklyn benching 135 pounds.
It is now known as the Mom Donnie Challenge, is it not?
Yes.
If you missed the now viral video, Men's Day in Brooklyn, Mom Donnie gets talked into getting on the bench.
So reluctant. That's so important.
It's a pair of 45s on each side. And as all of you know, the barbell is 45. Okay, so it's like you're like, okay, I can do the bar at 45. Let's throw 45s on each side. Now I'm 135, and that's a pretty simple workout for most men. Like, that's like starter stuff. That dude had to have a spotter, and it did not look easy.
Dude, I mean, they were afraid that bar was going to choke him to death.
Yes.
And completely collapse his esophagus.
Are we sure that they were 40? Like, those didn't look like 45-pound plates to me.
It was 135.
Okay.
That's what we know, is that's how much it was on there. That's okay. They've confirmed that part.
But that's not a crazy amount. In fact, the amount of people I then saw on social media that were repping out 135 without a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think if Tug took the Mom Donnie Challenge, I'm willing to bet that you would kill 10 of them quick without a problem.
I would like to think so. And
I think you would.
But the crazy thing is, for him, it's not about being strong. I mean, it's not about how much you can bench press. It's not. But when you put yourself in a situation, I wouldn't have went if I couldn't, if I was worried about it, I wouldn't have went anywhere near that. Just avoid it altogether. And yet, I guess he didn't see it coming. Hey, somebody's going to say, hey, man, you should pop down here, man. Show them what you're made of.
For anybody else, and we're wired for this, okay? We are wired for this. Why do you think that women look to strong men? Because it helps perpetuate the species. It's always been that way. Why do you think men look towards women that are a little bit hippie? Because that means more kids. All right, that's where it's wired for us to think these sorts of things. And when you see a guy jump down there and is unable to rep the bar with a couple of 45-pounders on there at 135, now it's not going to hurt him because by nature they're all kind of weak coffee boys anyway. But for anybody else around America, you just go, what a weakling. And what do we know about what weak men create?
Hard times.
Hard times.
It couldn't have played out more perfectly for anybody that's running against Mom Donnie to go, this dude is going to create hardships. And he is. This is the way the good Lord or the universe or whatever it is you believe in is trying to tell you, do not. This guy is bad news. This guy is going to create a really difficult time for New York City. And it's not going to matter. People aren't going to listen. They're going to elect this dude. And it is going to be a really difficult go for the next generation, seemingly, in New York City.
I'm kind of here for it. I'm kind of George Will on this.
I know you are.
Like, let's see how bad you can make it.
It's just
let's see what kind of damage strong communist policies will make in a city like that.
Look at all the countries that have gotten rid of it. Look at the countries that suffer under it today. I can't wish that on anybody. I wish they would figure it out, but they're not going to. They're going to get what they asked for, dude.
You ever had a friend of yours that hooks up with a woman that you all know to be crazy?
Oh, yeah.
And he's often like, I'm going to fix it. I'm going to fix her. Whatever she's done in the past, she's not going to do it to me. Then when all of his clothes are on fire.
And maybe his house and car.
And like his dog's missing.
Yeah.
You're like, what happened? Well, she happened. That's communism.
Yeah, it is.
And every now and then, somebody thinks they can do it better. They think they'll be the one to master it. You can't master communism. Communism is just what it is. It's a religion of destruction. It's a religion of death.
That's the thing. It is a religion. There's no doubt about it. Just like leftism in general is a religion. They worship at the altar of government. They worship at the altar of power and money and influence.
You know what, a lot of it, and this is coming a lot from the Founding Fathers, but then seeing how this has played out in recent years. When you go down the road of socialism, communism, statism, it's really about your own glamour. It's really about you and your insatiable urge for power, that what I can do with it. It's all the things that you're warned about from the Founding Fathers who believed in a moral and religious society, that men who yearn for this, it's why we have checks and balances so that they cannot take control. Yet their entire push was limited government. The idea was to keep men from having too much power. And yet these people want all the power. And so I think it really speaks to just the nature of what you want. Yeah, it's the human condition that men are frail and men can be consumed by power.
That I can tell. I mean, if you read through history, it's all about that, right?
Always.
Everybody that's taken over, I mean, from all the worst of the worst, they couldn't wait to get that power and then just unleash hell and fury on everybody. And that's what Mom Donnie does it with such a smile. He's so well spoken. He's very articulate. He comes off as, just everything you want in a politician, which is the problem.
I mean, I want you to consider the difference here, because you know what the Aunt Pegs and everybody else of the world are always going to get very upset and, oh, look who wants power. Look at Donald Trump. If you compare that to what Tim Walz did during COVID, he marched in the National Guard to keep you in your house. Donald Trump cleaned up the streets so people in D.C. could go out and be safe.
Using the same National Guard. He's using it for the benefit of the people.
So that they could leave their house.
Used it to the benefit of himself.
He made it so they'd be shut in.
Yeah. Do not move. You do not act. You will stay there. That's what it is, man. And in D.C., using the National Guard, you can go out. You can be safe.
Yeah. Can you imagine what these people, whether it's Chicago, Baltimore, St. Louis, thinking to themselves, what if he cleaned up my neighborhood?
Oh, there's plenty of people
thinking that. What if he cleaned up
that.
my city?
Yeah, there's plenty of people thinking that. And they're probably hoping, praying that Donald Trump does exactly what he said he was going to do, which is, I'm going to march National Guard in there. And all based on the predicate that they're not enforcing immigration law, federal immigration law, so I can do that. And he said Chicago, he said Baltimore. And those people have to be thinking, God, please let this cleanup work in our city the way it has in D.C. No murders in the last 10 days. It's unbelievable, man. Who would have thought that it would happen so quick? But I guess if you watched him at the border, you knew things can happen quick if you want them to. That's the key, is you have to want them to, and they never did. That is going to do it for us. Another great show. Thank you for being a part. 404-741-1230 if you ever want to get a hold of us on the phones, at Xtra 1063 across the social media platforms.
Or if you just want to make jokes like Al.
Yes, that's right.
Well done, Al.
Always welcome. We love your input. And even if you disagree with us, you're always welcome on this show. So we're going to turn it over to Beck, then Clay and Buck, and then the local afternoon show with the Kimmer, 3 until 6. So for Los and Trey, I'm Tug. Y'all come back now. You hear?
name is Patrick, and I'm the Military Outreach Manager at the Warrior Alliance. I served in the U.S. Army as an airborne ranger and deployed to several combat zones in support of the global war on terror. Veterans bring excellence through our work ethic, skills, and civic duty. However, transitioning to civilian life can be difficult, as we all share a loss of purpose when leaving the military. Returning veterans have earned and deserve our support so they can thrive on their journey home. The Warrior Alliance understands the challenge and is helping warriors navigate to success after service. Join us in changing thousands of lives for the better. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.